Okay, let's do this thing. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the AEW Double or Nothing 2022 review. Decided to wait till today to do this on this Memorial Day. Given that this show was very long last night, I'm sure a lot of people didn't want to record this at 12 a.m. or 11, depending where you live at last night. So first, let everybody introduce themselves who's on this show today to talk about this pay-per-view. Who wants to go first? To introduce themselves.
You go ahead, bro.
Okay, well, you know me, of course. Vidal and whatnot. I'm here once again. Like I said, AEW Double or Nothing review. Lot to say. Chicago over here. Who wants to go next?
Yo, my name is J-Rod. If you don't already know, I do poetry, rap, act, comedy. I river dance, nigga. I do a lot of shit. Fuck with me.
I'll go next. Go ahead. I'll go next, though. Yo, what's up? It's King Zaya. I'm back on here to get him what his ratings. I'd have felt so much better if you introduced me. It would have just felt so much better. It made me feel better about myself. But, I'm here. Let's go ahead and get it popping, man. AEW was a dope show. I'm high. Let's get it.
Blxck in the building yet again. I think the last joint we did some TNA show. I don't remember, but yeah, we back in the building. DR Elite.
Yeah, I think we did Rebellion, if I remember.
Yeah, and that was cool. So yeah, and this was cool too. You know, we gonna get. I mean, we already chopped it up about the length of this show, but we gonna get into it. So yeah.
Yeah, because this was a very long show. Las Vegas, Nevada, the TNT Mobile Arena. Obviously, AEW has taken over Vegas in the last few days since Dynamite from Wednesday and, live Rampage from Friday and whatnot. But, now we finally reached the pay-per-view on Sunday. And yes, this show was very, very long, almost 6 hours long. In my time zone, it went from if you watched the whole pre-show, it went from 6 all the way to 11:40 p.m. last night.
Yep.
Yeah, same for me. Just add an hour to that.
So yes, this was a long show. How did everybody go through? How did everybody get through the time on this whole thing?
I don't know what the time zone is in Las Vegas. I guess they're on California time. I don't know.
They're in Pacific time.
Cause they were up for the whole thing. So this wasn't ending at midnight plus for them. Cause they were all the way to the end.
Yeah, it was like 9.
It was like 10 o'clock for them.
And I know the energy is gonna be different if you're in the building, but as a nigga in his room, watching this at 12:40, this joint went off. I was cool. I was done.
Yeah, unless you ain't had nothing to keep you up or drink something, or you just had natural energy like that, then probably, like I said, probably towards the end, you just ready, you just done, and you just either want to go to sleep or you just done with this and want to just do whatever after that.
If a real killed my. What happened?
Go ahead, Gerard.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you like this. I felt like CM Punk Neese after that second buckshot lariat, and I was tired.
Bro, for facts, that joint killed my enjoyment in the main event, man. I was spent when it hit midnight and Hangman hadn't even come out yet. I was like, okay.
He was like, "Fuck, man." Gotta go work.
I ain't gonna lie. When it was kind of getting towards the end, when we got the last towards 2-3 matches, I was like, "Can we just get to the main event already?" I'm kind of done with this show. I just want to get to the main event.
Bro, I hit you up. I said, how many matches are left when we were on Rosa and Deeb? He said 3 or 4. Dang.
He's like, God damn, but that's gonna be a quick show.
There's 13 matches on this show. 13 matches, and a lot was added the last second. Yeah. Which me and Gerard went over Friday was yeah, man, they keep adding more matches to this show. And it wasn't even on the pre-show.
Didn't want to be alone or something, dude. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's I don't know, man. He wanted everybody to stay up and shit.
He made this long as possible because right off the bat, if anybody stuck around through the pre-show, because I turned on the pre-show when the pre-show match actually started, was Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Neese and Mark Sterling.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't mind it. Again, I've been saying this. I don't mind Hook having something to do. You know, he's finishing up some side missions and shit. He's early in the game, though. But I think that his solo career, I think, should be more important. But I understand that they just want to give him something to do so that he doesn't have any, like, title contention requests from the fans. But, you know, I just hope this doesn't become too silly. Hopefully it becomes kind of like a AEW RK Bro situation, you know, the silly and the serious kind of figure out a way to coincide, and it works out for him. But I just don't want him to become like a laughing stock. He's too good and too young.
Yeah, this was my first time ever seeing Danhausen wrestle, so I didn't really know what to expect from him. Like, because I know he's a comedy character, right? But like, if you look at a guy like Orange Cassidy, who's a comedy character, but he actually wrestles. So I didn't really know if like Danhausen was just doing like bits or was he about to get down to the mat, you know? And I don't know what the hell I was expecting, but this just kind of came and went, and I was like, whatever, let's get to the main show.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so let's go to the main show.
But yeah, it pre-show was okay. Like I said, the match was okay. I've only seen a little Danhausen wrestling Ring of Honor. It's okay, but like with Hook, like I said, I know they don't want to push him too fast, but at the same time, it's like y'all trying to build this lone wolf badass. I don't know if it's the best idea to stick him with a comedy guy right now. So
one thing I will say is it's hilarious having Taz on commentary trying to, you know, like that dad who's like, I don't approve of his friend, but I mean he likes him, so you know.
just get it over. So try and do his best to get it over and whatnot. But yeah, moving on to the main show. Obviously this was, you know, the biggest build out of this whole pay-per-view, the match that had the best build, but now the most controversy over the weekend, which we didn't know what was going to happen, and it actually kicked off the main show, was Wardlow versus MJF.
I don't think regardless of the MJF situation, that this match would have gone any differently than it did.
Facts. This was his coronation moment, and it was kind of like apparent. And yeah, they had the best build. It was a decent match. He did the Powerbomb Symphony. Which is completely over. I felt like this was his Batista moment. That everybody wants to compare to Batista. This is Batista at WrestleMania 21 moment. You know, it was. I felt like it was a given, and it wasn't a bad match. You know, I know it was crowded because nobody really knew if MJF was actually going to come out. But when he did and they started booing, you just knew you were in for like a good time. You know what I'm saying? It was these. They had the best build. Like they've been building this for almost a year. It's been a while. It was a good build though.
Yeah, I feel like that may have been the reason though. Just like you said, that I think the reason that MJF didn't show up may be the reason that there may be this controversy surrounding the match surrounding MJF right now. Maybe it's because of the reason that it was such a squash. Maybe MJF wanted more, and maybe Tony, like, I don't, you know, because we don't know what the, you know, what the backstage conversations were in building the match. And it seems so out of the blue that all of this happened throughout the weekend, and where maybe, you know, Tony may have had a Vince McMahon moment last second. It was like, you know what? Just Powerbomb Symphony, squash him, and it's over. And it's like, nigga, I'm MJF. You know, I don't think squashing me would work. You know, and that would, honestly, if we're given that perspective, I would understand why MJF would feel like he wanted to walk out, just because he, like, when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this is MJF, though. You know, I expect him to at least get one of his tricks to go off, or for him to at least, you know, weasel his way around for, you know, a while before the symphony. But it was really just like a squash. And honestly, if I was MJF, I'd be a little ticked off too. Like, hey, we built this shit up for like really 3 years when I hired him to be my hitman.
Right.
and now we're just gonna end it with this little squash match. Now there may be more matches that'll build this up more, but like I feel like if this is him getting his contract and he's beating MJF, it should be more than just, I should get some low blows and it should be, a reason to boo me too. It was just more so like, well, I liked it because again, it was, Wardlow getting his just due and I love to see it, but I also just really expected more from MJF and we don't know if that's because of what happened before, this incident or if it was because of, the incident that it was so quick.
Yes, I will say the match itself, it was good. It was what it was. Like you said, about 10 power bombs out there. Wardlow did to complete the story, and the crowd was super over with it. And you heard people chanting at MJF. He showed up. He showed up, or asshole chants. Obviously, it's got to be more to the story all over this whole walkout thing and whatnot, because then it was reports coming out that the reason why he wasn't at the fan fest, he was at the slot machines, and apparently he had a plane ticket to go back to Long Island. So some people wondered if he was actually gonna show up in that. And, me and Gerard had talked about a lot about this yesterday before the pay-per-view, because we've seen people try to compare this to the whole Naomi and Sasha situation. I think the difference is that yes, Naomi and Sasha did walk out, but the thing is they actually talked with Vince McMahon and they didn't like what was going on with creative, and they went over it and stuff, and they just couldn't come to a compromise. MJF just kind of just basically walked out and was like, fuck y'all basically and whatnot, and I'm gonna do my own thing, because this has been brewing. I know it's been talked about for a minute now since the whole Ariel Helwani review, and there's been multiple shots being taken on the internet several times when it comes to like the whole contract thing and stuff. So I can see why this match was first. Maybe so everybody wouldn't be questioning if MJF is actually going to show up tonight, and they wanted to get it out of the way now and maybe discuss the whole contract thing and whatnot. If that's the case, because some people believe that what they did out there last night was to write him off until further notice. I'm not really sure. I'm like taking a guess, because right now a lot of people have debated is this a work or a shoot.
Yeah, then another difference between this and the Sasha Naomi thing, Naomi was supposed to win that match, but and then they just threw that match together anyway on a whim, and it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of anything. As opposed to if MJF didn't show up for Wardlow's crowning moment after being built up for, like bro said, like 3 years, that's completely different than the Sasha and Naomi stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But to also touch on what bro said, I can understand one more from it, considering how long they've been building this joint up. But I still don't feel like this was this straight away from the plan. I don't think any of that controversy had anything to do with it, because he did the running away bit. He tried the ring, and none of that worked. It was all just to get Wardlow to get his hands on him, and we got that 10 power bombs. I don't really think it needed to be more than that, so I don't think it was too different from the original plan, if they did even change anything. It was cool though.
Anybody else got a take on it? Isaiah?
Well, look, I get where y'all both coming from. As far as like the whole, like, I had a good time, because honestly, I felt I don't know if it was a work or a shoot or whatever when it comes to him like taking the plane and leaving, etc. But they definitely had me worked. I was really sitting there waiting to see what's gonna happen, and they brought him out in the beginning, just so, like you said, there won't be any questions and the show won't be no distractions or whatever. But honestly, because I really don't know what's going on. I can't wait to find out whether or not he's leaving or what was really going on. But I enjoyed it. He kicked his ass. You know what I'm saying? And the MJF did get some of his, like, he didn't do. I guess I get what Gerard coming from too, because he's like, he's MJF. He's fucking MJF. You would think that it'd at least be, if not competitive, at least be a little bit like a pushback, like how Triple H was to Batista. But no, Wardlow kind of just kicked his ass and made MJF look like fucking Marco Stunt. So you know, it was good. It was okay. You know, I don't know if he's leaving, but if he is, that's a good way to go. That's a good way to go. You got your ass kicked. I mean, I doubt he's leaving. I'm pretty sure they're gonna come to a compromise. But you know, the match was fun. Wardlow is now your next guy. MJF didn't suffer too much if he is staying. And this is probably gonna be in, unpopular opinion, but this is coming from a guy who takes bumps. That's also could be a beginning for MJF turning, which I don't agree with at all. But that's usually how they build it up. They have you lose in a very humbling fashion. When you're at the peak of your heeldom, and it begins the beginning of your turn. I hope not. He's such an asshole that I really hope he doesn't ever turn good. I hope he's giving middle fingers to babies for time in.
Like, honestly, the way I was thinking about this morning, because it's funny, Brian Pillman Jr. is in AEW. I was thinking about Brian Pillman this morning, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if this is a work, this is the future of wrestling kayfabe.
Yes, sir.
This is a work. Like all the speculation over a plane ticket, all they did was buy a plane ticket.
Man, wrestling, man.
Let the rest of it take fire. And if this is just all a work of just building up like a show, man, look, this is the way that they should do it forever. Like, respect, like, because you don't know what's real and you don't know what's fake. Like, we're all adults, so we know, like, the characters are characters, but this is a real feeling thing. So, even if this is a real shoot situation, like, from a writer standpoint, from now on, I'm only writing situations in which it can kind of cross between what's real and what's not. This, like, even if it's a shoot, this would be a great work. Like, all you guys have to do is buy a plane ticket and let the rest of media take off, and more people watch the show. So
exactly.
And you know what? If this is like driving towards an MJF world title program, you know who just won the belt and who also did this with a contract coming up. So
I feel like they're gonna turn Punk, which is inevitable. Get his MJF, make him a next megastar. It's too perfect. It's too laid out too well, man. It's laid out too well, man.
Yes, and they just a little seed with the MJF promo a couple months ago against him.
Exactly.
That's true. So you look at that, it does play itself out and whatnot. But like I said before, like watching what we saw here tonight. Like I say, it was good, and then they talked to Wardlow right after, say, hey, he's finally all elite. He's got a full contract now, so now it's gonna lead something big for him. But I could see that whole world title thing with MJF being next if that's the case, because a lot of people kind of feel like he may be leaving because they keep bringing in all these ex WWE guys and they keep getting pushes before the actual homegrown talent they have right there right now.
The All Elite joint was a nice touch. It's the little things, because he never got that before because he was never technically under contract. So when they put that up on the screen, I'm like, that's cool right there.
That's cool, definitely. So like overall, like I said, enjoyable match and everything. Definitely the best build and whatnot. I know some would say the controversy kind of somewhat a little bit overshadowed it, but in a way, like I kind of said before, I can kind of understand why they did this first. But overall, it was good. Wardlow got his due. He got his big payback on MJF, and they built it greatly, in my opinion, out of this whole, build to this show. So I liked it. But moving on to the next match, we had the Young Bucks versus the Hardys. Caprice Coleman on commentary. Let me add up that also from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why? It wasn't even a Ring of Honor match.
Why I ain't never mad at a nigga getting the check, but I'm just like, but why?
What's the point? What was I didn't get that either. Like, what was the benefit of that at all?
He's good. I like him, but like this, what was the reason? It's not like this was a Ring of Honor match or anything, even though both of these teams have fought each other in Ring of Honor before. And whatnot.
Which was better.
Definitely way better. And then again, And we talk about build. A lot of these matches tonight really didn't have any build. They either were just added to this show just because, and they just kind of expected everybody just to know what it is. Because even the video package, trying to do a Viva Las Vegas like song and whatnot, and it's like this. We've seen the Hardys and the Bucks fight each other before, so you can't sit here and call this a dream match because it's been done like a few years ago. And like you said, it was way better when they had that ladder match. And right before WrestleMania 30, which one was it? Was it 30?
That was 33. I think it was 33.
Yeah, because the Hardys were working their asses off that whole weekend.
For another ladder match.
Yeah, for another ladder match. They wrestled like 2-3 ladder matches that weekend.
God damn.
That's why they walk the way they do, man.
Yeah. Especially Jeff, but Jeff, I'm not even sure sometimes. But I would say it did exceed expectations, though. Like, it was enjoyable. It took a minute to get into, but I still liked it. They still did crazy stuff out there, as you expect with the Hardys and the Bucks, because it's just kind of funny. They try to say now, like, well, they're like cosplays of the Hardys. I'm like, dude, I've been saying that for like 5-6 years now. People been compared them as cosplayers to the Hardys, so like that's nothing new.
Yeah, we ain't even for real got to spend too much time on this. I mean, by the end of it, I thought it was good, but yeah, we'd already seen this. They had no build virtually, and it just kind of came and went.
Facts. It was a decent match though. I mean, and when you add it to their trilogy though, it's probably the least, exciting. And that's not just due to the fact that we've seen it before, because when you do trilogies or do more than one matches, it's like the next one is always supposed to be better than the first one. But I think it's boiling down to the fact that, yeah, they probably pulled out all the stops already in Ring of Honor when they had that, that phenomenal ladder match in 2017. I mean, it was a decent story. Oh, just, they're supposed to be the new Hardys, but they're not the new Hardys, and they're like Freddie Mercury dipped in Hardy, so it's like whatever. But it was decent, man. The Young Bucks are fucking amazing, by the way. They still the shit. The Hardys are still, every black person's hero. It's it was decent. It was fun. It was cool.
Yeah, no complaints.
Yeah,
it was a solid match.
Exactly, that's it. It's not. We wouldn't even be able to digest it as much as everything else due to the match that preceded it. Also, that the ones that was following it. It was a good match for a good show, a good secondary match on a card.
Yeah, I think the craziest thing probably out of this match was just Jeff doing the swan time on the steel steps on one of the Bucks.
Jeff's always doing crazy shit though. It's like a point where I be feeling kind of scared for him now. Like, he's getting old, man.
Bro, when he went up to do what was it, the whisper in the wind, and his foot kept slipping. I'm like, bro,
exactly.
Come on, Jeff.
Come on, Jeff, please.
And I was like, get the footing, man. Get the footing, man. Come on.
His boot came loose. I'm like, oh shit.
Like, come on, Jeff. Like, sometimes it's like what you told me before, Steven. Like, you can't tell if he's selling or if he's really hurt.
It's both, I guess.
So they've literally had him do almost. I feel like ever since he got to this company, they've had him do all these extreme matches. Literally, before he did one regular match, he's been jumping off of ladders ever since he got to this company.
Yeah, pretty much day one.
Like, literally. And I think it was kind of funny that they kind of parodied when Jeff ran through the crowd right after the match. They said that was kind of like a parody of, to the whole controversy at that house show.
Obviously. Matt was a little put off by it, too. You can see his face. He was like, what the hell is he doing? He's a little put off by it. He was like, wow, damn it. Is he gone?
That's the thing. Dry, you got anything to say on it?
I thought the match was pretty cool. I was expecting more. I thought it was going to be like a showstopper for real. But, yeah, he got the job done. It was what I expected from the Young Bucks versus the Hardys in 2022.
Right.
Yep, and it was good. They went almost like 20 minutes out there. So, it was what it was. The Hardys won. I wasn't really surprised that the Hardys won. I was like, I kind of had them winning anyways.
I'm actually surprised you said this went almost 20 minutes. It didn't really feel like that, for
real. I actually looked at the timestamp. It says they went 19 minutes and 15 seconds.
It definitely didn't feel like it was that long. I must have been zoned out. I swear it didn't feel like it went 20 minutes. Like when you said that, I was like, no, you got
20 minutes.
Yeah, they went nearly 20 minutes out there, so they did that. That's how long it was. So there you go. But yeah, it was what it was. It was good. Like I say, everybody held up out there. So it's not like the Hardys were dying out there. Some people had said they held up their part too. So it was good. Next though, I know they had some video with the Acclaimed and the Gun Club. I don't know if they're supposed to be the new DX for whatever reason, but they had some quick segment on that. Next was the TBS title on the line. I don't know if anybody had anything to say on that last part, because that's kind of, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
They partied. It was Vegas. Boom. There you go.
There you go,
nothing
man.
to say, bro.
They're ending race relations, man. It was shit, man. That shit was funny.
But next though, yeah, the TBS title on the line. Jade Cargil, Anna Jay.
I thought this match was fine, but it wasn't even really about the match at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was okay. I think the first one was better. I didn't really care coming into this because it's like I've already seen this already. Like y'all ain't got nobody else to face Jade and whatnot. I like the Vegas, like with the showgirls entrance and whatnot. That was pretty cool. But it's like
when I heard, I was listening to Grapsody, and what they were saying was, Chris Statlander, we obviously know wasn't ever supposed to be in that tournament, and whatever happened with Shida kind of messed up the plans. Apparently, from what I was hearing, that it was supposed to be Statlander in this position, but because they had to put her in the tournament because whatever happened with Shida, we just got this random match instead. So, no build or anything, because I guess it was just a last minute decision to just do what they did on the card.
I feel it was a lot of run-ins in this match, or a little bit one too many run-ins. Because you had the baddie section there, Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet jumping the barricade, and then you got Mark Sterling out there on a crutch, and then you got John Silver out there, and whatnot, and then near the end, Jade ended up winning because Anna Jay got distracted by making his debut, formerly known as Malcolm Bivens. The man that was in the Diamond Mine, now he's Stokley Hathaway again.
The greatest manager of all time, right, Bryce?
Well, he was part of that Fight Club.
That fucking guy. Shut the fuck up. That guy.
But yeah, he came out there, so I guess he's Jade's manager now. And then, you got Statlander coming out there then. And then next thing you know, we got another debut. The debut of Atehna.
The Fallen Goddess.
Yes, the Fallen Goddess. Good reaction. Big reaction. Then everybody had to stare down, and that was the end of the segment. What y'all got to say on that?
Real quick about the match. I love that Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet with Jade with the baddies and all that, but I do not want Jade to turn into Britt Baker, man. Well, all her matches are just people running in. Like, this woman ain't a 7-foot chiseled goddess. Like, she need people to help her beat Anna Jay. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Dude, I don't want that at all. So when that happened, like you said, too many run-ins, I'm like, yeah, this is a Jade Cargil match. Why are we having run-ins at all for her to beat somebody she done already beat, bro? If it's cool that the baddies are a thing, but let's not make that a thing. And now that Stokley's with her, don't let that be a thing either, where people are just mad interfering with her, because I done got tired of the Brit shit, so I'm gonna get tired of this too, bro. Like, let's let's stray away from that if we can, man. Like, she should just be beating people because she's Jade.
Yeah.
I agree.
They ain't got no argument there, man.
Yeah.
And I also feel like it probably shouldn't. I mean, it was a decent match, but like he's saying, Jade is dominant, is a fucking dominant, like, sit here, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she could have just kicked it. She already beat her before, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
She did.
Why she don't just beat her ass again? Like, just beat her ass, do her Jade shit. I don't want to make this controversial comment, but like my friend told me like he thinks she's like the black AEW version of Charlotte. I don't agree with it to a T, but I get what he's saying. I can see the similarities. There shouldn't be no run-ins like that, especially not that many. And she probably, I don't want to say squashed her, but it should have been a Jade match, if you know what I'm saying. It should have just been a regular Jade match.
But, yeah, and she ain't never need nobody before that. Now all of a sudden, just because she got a team, we have to use them. It's like, nah, bro. Like,
let her kick the ass. Oh, she got it.
Yeah, agreed. And I just look at all the run-ins, and I'm like, so did they kick Mark Sterling out, I guess, and they just put Bivens with him?
Well, he's kind of doing this Tony Neese stuff anyway. So, I mean, he's kind of everybody's lawyer. He's in the MJF's lawyer. So you can easily just scoot him aside without it being a thing.
Yeah, because I'm like just halfway there. He just became like Jade's new manager now. Because I didn't think he was there, but I guess like that 30-day NXT thing already came up. So I'm like, damn, they already got him already. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Atehna showing up was fire, though. I popped for that.
I hope she doesn't get lost in the shuffle.
Well, like when we were talking about, I mean, they already put it with Jade, right? So,
Yeah. What was your question, Gerard? You were saying something?
I was gonna say, do you think Atehna will be the first to beat Jade, since Jade's beat everybody else except for like Britt Baker?
Statlander.
Possibly.
I would rather Statlander anyway. She kind of got the rapport.
Yeah, because like I look at Atehna, and it's like we've talked about the women's division before. It's like some would say it's really crowded, but with a new person debut, you don't want to see them like they come in, they're hot for like a good month or two, and then they go on dark purgatory for the next 6 months, and we don't really hear from them again, because it looks like that happens with everybody they debut around here. They end up on dark purgatory.
Yeah, more on that later.
Yeah, it's gonna be there's definitely more on that, but. I was glad to see Atehna though, so it's good that she's finally getting her shot, because I heard they said it was like the contract or whatever, like negotiations wasn't working out, but I guess it did work out now. So she's here now, so hopefully everything goes for the best.
Yep.
So this was what it was with 2 debuts. Next, 6-man tag. Death Triangle versus House of Blxck. Can you say Spot Fest? Pentagon brought his son also. That was pretty cool.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a Spot Fest, and man, it was good though.
I didn't say I know we had this conversation. Like, spot bets aren't always bad. Like it was decent. I think anything the Lucha Bros do is phenomenal. Like period. And House of Blxck it was decent. It was one of I was enjoying myself. I was high when I watched the show too, so they was tweaking me out a little bit. Alex Black.
Isaiah, you gotta get close to the mic, like you're kind of away from it.
All right, is it better?
Okay, I can hear you.
I was saying that we know that everything the Lucha Bros do is amazing. Like they're just almost impossible to miss. And Malachi Black, the House of Blxck, it was a good time. It was one of my favorite. I know they had to get all their spots in, get all the highlights, make the compilation for YouTube. Dude, it wasn't horrible. The ending though, with Pac getting the missed by what's her face, it was kind of off-putting. Because I was, but they had me in the beginning. They definitely had me going along in the beginning. It was even though it can be considered a spot fest, I wouldn't say the match was tainted by it in any moment. You know what I mean?
It was good. Like I said, like, you know, like I said, some spot fest can be good. Like, I'm calling spot fest because it was, but this was really good though. Other than, you know, I think the only part that didn't look good was, you know, Brody King doing that dive and landing straight on his head, trying to dive over the ring, and he hit his head on the apron.
I tell you what, man, this is why I like doing these pods, because we all going to have different views on opinions and everything, and that's great. Cause I fucking love this match, man. like
Right,
them
man.
first 3 matches kind of came and went for me, but as soon as this match started going, I was like, "Oh, we in here now, bro. This is the one." Cause I mean, yeah, you say spot fest because it is a spot fest, but when you get the Lucha Bros and Pac and Malachi and Murphy and Brody King in the ring, ain't nobody trying to see rest holds and all that shit,
Exactly.
man. We try to see niggas flipping, kicking, diving, like. This was my shit, bro. It might be my match of the night just because of where it was. I wasn't like tired and shit at this point of the show. So on a second watch, I might feel different, but as a first viewing, I was all in on this match. The fact that Pat kicked Malachi in the dick because he's a bastard, and I'm like, yeah, bro, fuck that nigga, bro. And then the mist and everything from Julie, I thought, yeah, man, this was cool, bro.
Yeah, it was good though. Like I said, 6-man tag and whatnot. Dry, you back? You got anything on it?
Yeah. Man, I'm sorry, I'm eating this Nigerian food. I don't know if y'all ever had Nigerian food. My God, it's the greatest food ever made. Now, I think the entrances, of course, like I'm always a fan of the Death Triangle's entrances for pay-per-views. The House of Black has the best entrance in wrestling, if you ask me. That fucking spot with Brody King, that was pretty funny. Like, he had me hyped. I thought that shit was gonna be fire, and it wasn't. But he tried, and hopefully he tries again and does better. Not everybody can be Keith Lee.
Facts.
But overall, I think that was a really fun match. Like bro said, like that was the match that kind of picked it up from like, okay, now we starting to get into some good matches. My favorite match didn't even happen yet, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, but yeah, this like I said, I know I called it spot fest, but it was a really good one though. And like I said, Julia Hart finally turning. You know, they finally pulled the trigger on that. So, you know, the mist at the end was good, which, you know, hey, it's like a lot of people said she's more over than the Varsity Blondes right now. So, you know, that tells you something.
They have to become the Varsity Brews.
Because I don't know what they got to do with Pillman and Garrison. Because, you know, after I saw that promo a few weeks ago with Pillman, like he was trying his best to get fired up out there in the crowd, but nobody gave a shit.
Man, that was here too. That's a damn shame.
Yeah, it was in Baltimore. That was right. It was in Baltimore.
That shit died a million deaths, bro.
He was trying, but it was like, dude, nobody cared. No one cared.
Still don't.
They don't give a shit.
They don't. Like I said, a lot of people say he's not his dad. He's not the loose cannon out there. So I don't know what they about to do with him and Garrison next, since they had Julia finally turn now. So, but I kind of thought to myself, you know, hey, that kind of tells you something if she's more over than those two right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happens with that next. But yeah, House of Black getting the win because, you know, we talked about the build. You know, there's literally been no build to this match, but it was a really good match though. It was whatnot, even though they only had like 1 week of build on this and they didn't talk about it after that. So,
well, technically they built this months and months ago, but then Phoenix got hurt, so they had to switch in for what's his name, Eric Rowan. So they kind of already had built this match before that. But yeah, you're right. Like for this pay-per-view cycle, they had like 2 weeks, if that, of build.
Basically, they had to kind of go on pause until later on and stuff, because it was even I got to the point like, what is House of Black doing other than just cutting random promos every weekend?
Oh my God, feuding with fucking Fuego, bro. Golly.
Even I was like, who the fuck gives a shit about Fuego? Like why are they fighting this guy? I got to the point like, why are they fighting this guy again now? Because like,
we still don't know, bro.
It's like it's not like he was ever gonna. He was never gonna beat the House of Black. So it's like, why is this a thing? And like, it just like they were just talking randomly, because it's like it's two spooky guys and a guy named Buddy. It's like, where's this going? I was getting to the point of that, like two spooky dudes and a dude named Buddy, and then everybody start comparing them to like the, Edge's group right now, Judgment Day, which that really backfired for Brody on Twitter. Just to add that.
What'd you say? Two spooky dudes and a dude named Buddy coming soon to the theaters.
Two spooky guys and a guy named Buddy. I wish he would have changed his name, by the way. It wasn't that, but yeah, hopefully now something actually is gonna happen with them next. Now they got Julie in the group, so we gonna see.
Well, it'll probably continue, right?
Say that again.
It'll probably continue, right? Because now they've added. Julia cost them the match, so.
Yeah, I don't think this feud's probably not over. It's probably gonna be more. So we'll see what happens next, then. But yeah, I don't think this is over by a long shot. Next, the finals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. The guys side, Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. Mike Chioda was the referee. They brought him back. Anybody got really much to say on this one? It was what it was. Cole won, even though I kind of thought it was kind of one of those out of nowhere type of wins. I know Bobby Fischer got involved, but it's like, oh, Cole won. Like when he won, I was just kind of like, oh, he actually won. I'm like, okay, which I figured he was gonna win. Then again, he did have the pink and black, gear when he came to the ring. So I wasn't really surprised he won.
Considering who was involved, I was surprised the crowd was as quiet as they were. I know we just got through that 6-man, that crazy 6-man, but like this is Joe versus Adam Cole. I'm thinking like the crowd is going to be like up for this, but they were kind of just and the match kind of was just too. So it was, I don't know. It was all right.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to probably be more interferences and whatnot. I almost kind of expected, Jay Lethal and Satam Singh and Sanjay Dutt to come out there, other than Bobby Fish.
Yeah, I think it was a blink and you miss it type of match. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the mean, because considering who was all involved, But I'm gonna be honest with you, this match kind of like flew by, in my opinion, and I hate to say that, it had to be because of the match we just saw, and like this is like when wrestling, right? It's like a roller coaster. It goes high up. And this is like when it goes down. This was just a mellow match, a blink and you miss it type of affair. I literally did expect a lot more, but that's just me because I was up, But it was just a whatever type of affair. I didn't expect it to be that kind of whatever type of affair. I expected it to be one of the standout matches at the night. It was and it's for the Owen tournament, but it was what it was. It wasn't shitty or anything. It was what it was.
Right.
Yeah, it was what it was in a way. Like Cole won, he won, but I did kind of expect a lot more coming into this, given it's Adam Cole, it's Samoa Joe. You expect something big to happen, but it was kind of like Cole won and he just won, so that was kind of it.
What's funny is in the video package right before this, Samoa Joe was like, I'm fully expecting Bobby Fish to come out and interfere this match, but I'm ready for him. And then he came out and he lost. Like, I guess he wasn't, all right?
Yeah, I was really just more so looking to see who won. If Samoa Joe won, Ruby was going to win the women's. If Adam Cole won, then Britt was going to win the women's. So I was just more so interested in that. I was telling Bryce beforehand, and this is no detriment to any of the wrestlers in the competition. I wasn't really looking out for the tournament at all. I don't know. The build just didn't really catch me that well. A few of the matches were really good, but some of the matches kind of were blah. So it didn't really pique my interest as much. I did appreciate the ceremony though. Just being able to look at Owen's legacy and just really, reflect on that and seeing that, it is being reflected upon in some wrestling format is always cool. But overall, it was a good match. It did its job. It was Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. I feel like it could be a bigger match in the long run, maybe coming up, because they did have a little feud in NXT that they could maybe rekindle, and it was supposed to be pretty hot. So I would love to see, maybe this be like a stepping stone into a bigger feud, and it would keep them both out of like some type of title contention. It'll give them some time to build their names up as contenders, because I think Adam Cole is pretty close to being a champion again, or going for it again at some point, maybe during Punk's reign at some point, or maybe Joe, depending on if Punk goes heel or not.
Yep, that's a good way of looking at it. I do agree. I guess I got a lot more to say once we get to like the next tournament match about this overall tournament. But after Cole winning his match, we moved to the women's part of the Owen Hart Cup tournament final. Britt Baker, who came out with Rich Ward, Fozzie's guitarist, which I swear to God, at one point it did not look like he was playing the guitar. All he looked like he was just jumping around. Because I was like, this guy's playing the guitar, right? Because I swear he didn't look like he was. Like, I just felt like he was just jumping. That's all like he was. He just jumped around. I'm like, who is this guy playing the guitar? And it didn't look like he was really playing the guitar. That I was just kind of confused by that for a second. And Ruby Soho, she actually had Rancid, who actually made the Ruby Soho song, come out and perform. So that was pretty cool. This match though. There's a lot to say about this, especially that bullshit sharpshooter Ruby did. That looked really bad. Okay, that looked bad. And I kind of thought this women's match was actually better than the guys' Owen Hart Cup tournament final. That I will say, but I'm sure the biggest thing to take away is Britt Baker getting another win, folks.
Oh wow, Doctor, man. She's a beast. She's a good up and comer, man.
Yeah, so it's a lot to say about that, and it's like Gerard just said, you want to talk about comparing to Charlotte Flair. Then now we can kind of get into a comparison here with Baker right now, because I don't think she really needed this win. I think Ruby needed the win right here. Stevie, your fan is very loud in the back. I just want to say that right now.
That's me.
That's my studio.
Or maybe that's Isaiah. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say I ain't changed nothing.
I heard something loud in the background, but
my bad. That's the studio.
Oh, okay, my mistake then. But like I said, I think Ruby probably need the win, but after looking at last Friday on Rampage, and you could see even the crowd turned on Ruby, and they were more with Baker last Friday and whatnot. But I don't think Baker needed this win.
I don't want to get into a whole long thing about it because Bryce, you already know how I feel about Britt Baker. But it's first of all, positives. I do agree that this match was better than Joe and Cole by quite a bit, actually. Even though that sharpshooter was not good, it was more of a lasso from El Paso. But yeah, man, after Friday, everybody wanted Statlander to win. And then she didn't. And then come tonight, or yesterday rather, that crowd was split 50-50 for real. But to gauge, it seemed like people wanted Ruby to beat Britt. And then she didn't. And I just sat there like, dang, they really gave Britt another quote-unquote history thing. And them, just like we said, bro, them Charlotte Flair comparisons, bro, they got to be treading real careful with Britt Baker, man, because you don't want that stigma to be put on her that, well, if they put Britt in this match, she's obviously going to win because she's Britt Baker. Like, you don't want to put that on her because that's not even fair to her. But they keep putting her in these positions where, well, if history is to be made in AEW, it's probably going to be with Britt Baker's name on it, just like Charlotte Flair. And that shit is so annoying, man. It's like, I'm not like a huge Ruby Soho mark, but this story was tailor-made for Ruby to win, bro. And she didn't. I just sat there like, wow, I love the match, but the fact that Britt won is just like, golly,
shocker, man.
You know what gave it away for me?
What?
I'll tell you what gave it away. I was like, oh, Baker's wearing pink and black also. I know where they're going with this. That kind of gave it away also. Because both her and Cole were wearing that.
Owen's colors.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. She like I agree. I honestly didn't think Britt Baker was gonna win. I definitely thought Ruby Soho was definitely gonna win. Because seeing Taylor, it wasn't bad by any means. It was better than like the previous match, but like goddamn, dude, like she winning. She's right. She's a Charlotte for real, bro. It ain't even Jade. It's fucking Britt Baker, dude. And it was to a point where if Ruby Soho would have won, it would have been like, oh shit, I expected it and it came true and I feel good about it. But because Britt Baker won, it's not even like, oh shit, I'm surprised. It's like, oh, of course she won. Who the fuck else was gonna win? That's unfortunate, but that's how it is, man. That's how it is, dude. It was a decent match though. It was decent.
Yeah, I do wonder though. At the end of the match, Britt Baker helped Ruby Soho up, kind of, shook her hand. Now, I wonder if that came from just the competition, it being about Owen Hart, just the competitiveness of it showing sportsmanship, or could this be like a little jewel into a potential face change for Britt? Because, she's over in every city she goes to. She gets damn near more cheers than boos. She got to damn near do extra shit just to get booed. So, like, I wonder if they may be... because if Kenny Omega's coming back at some point, maybe this Undisputed Elite becomes a no more. Britt Baker may become heel with Adam Cole. I could see both of them. Not heel, go face with Adam Cole.
I think it's more of a
off of her helping Ruby Soho up, and they've been beefing since Ruby came. So
I think it's more because it's the Owen tournament, because she pretty much just beat Ruby clean. And then Adam Cole, Bobby Fish came out, but he pretty much beat Joe clean too. And they were going to do this emotional thing with Martha Hart at the end. So I feel like they didn't want to give the babyface victories, but they also didn't want like the heels that were going over to be overly heelish because, this is kind of like a babyface tournament and everything. So it's not necessarily they're turning her, but for this one moment, they're like, well, for this tournament, for this final with the speech and everything, to be a nice moment, turn down the dickery,
No, I feel that, yeah.
Yeah, because, I know they brought, Martha Hart right out to, give out the trophy and, say a few words, for Owen's legacy and whatnot. And I think the title belts look really cool that, they gave both to Cole and Baker. But, it's like I said, I kind of figured they was going to win because I just felt like there was a lot of clues out there. And then, everybody wants to say, oh, they're the first couple in AEW to, win this tournament and whatnot because, it's both of them and stuff. I look at the overall tournament. I'm kind of with Gerard. Like, I think the tournament was okay in some aspects. That we had some good matches out of it. Some I didn't care for. Some that were very confusing. I know it was a tournament, but even I didn't think that, at the time, Jeff and Darby didn't need to have that no disqualification, anything goes match. I get it's because of those two, and we know they're going to do crazy stuff, but in a tournament match, though, and then again, and I look at the women's tournament, even with the Joker cards also, I've said it before, like about a week or two ago, with Baker and them throwing out the whole Maki Ito thing, which I just thought that was a complete joke, and I was checked out. I didn't even pay attention to that match because I just felt like it was a joke, and even I was like, this is low-key disrespectful to Owen Hart, and I was completely checked out at the time. But, from an overall standpoint, I thought the tournament, it was good for what it was. It's nice to see them kind of celebrate Owen's legacy. I know it was a big controversy when this was first announced that AEW will be working with, the whole Owen Hart Foundation. And yes, it's supposed to give, newer fans that didn't really get a chance to see Owen Hart, kind of learn about his legacy and what he did. I know they don't have all the clips to show for it, maybe just from New Japan or Canadian Stampede, because you're not going to get any of the WWF type of footage of Owen Hart at that time. And I'll say this too, at the end of the day, I know some people may not agree on that. At the end of the day, I do still feel like this was a way for Martha Hart to get a one-up on the WWE given. And she has a right to. They did technically kill her husband and everything, but I can understand at the same time. Hey, I'm telling like it is, all right? But I do believe in a way it was a one-up to do, because then people wonder like, well, why wasn't the rest of the Hart family involved in this? Like, dude, people know Brett and them don't fuck with her for multiple kind of reasons and stuff. So, like I said, the tournament, it was what it was, but I still kind of expected maybe a different winner in the women's thing, but I can understand what they did at the same time. So that's my overall standpoint on just the entire tournament itself. Anybody else want to add something?
I think you're kind of, well, I mean, you're obviously entitled to your own opinion. I think just a little bit, though, you're underselling it. I mean, there were some bangers in this tournament. I mean, Dax and Cash had a banger. Tony and Jamie Hayter had a banger. The match they just had, Ruby and Chris Statlander, I thought was dope. Freaking
O'Reilly and Phoenix.
Yeah. Dax and Cole. I mean, you said Jeff and Darby, I feel you, but I mean, yeah, bro, I thought there were some bangers in this tournament. There were a lot of not bangers, but I feel like it's more 50-50 than, just not to completely undersell it. You feel me?
I ain't trying to undersell it at all. I don't know. Maybe it was because I didn't see all of the matches, like every single one of them. But just the ones that I did run into were just like, okay. Like, for instance, and I understand that you don't want to do, like, any big premieres or any debuts, crazy debuts during a tournament. But I feel like if they were going to do Jokers, they should have waited the Jokers out until either the Dynamite, like this week's Dynamite, before All Out, not All Out, before Double Nothing. And, like, if you guys are planning on signing, like, someone like Cesaro, like, having, like bringing that type of validity into it also helps. I don't know, it just seemed like the Jokers were like, because, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of spoiled over AEW's Jokers, because usually they be kind of coming in strong with their Jokers, but I was, like, really expecting, like, some big, I was expecting Ramon to win the Joker, actually, so, and it was good to see that she did make a debut, and it does make me excited for, like, Cesaro maybe making a debut later on in another pay-per-view or at another time, but I don't know, I was really expecting, like, man, for this tournament to be, I guess, bigger than it was, but I do agree that it did have some bangers, and it does make me excited for next year, because, like, this is the first year that they did this, and the first year of anything is always kind of trash compared to what it becomes. So, let's see what happens next year. Let's see how Britt Baker and Adam Cole run the titles. I would love for them to kind of run the titles the way that JF kind of does the diamond ring. You know what I mean? Like, use it as like a ploy to just win matches. So that maybe Britt doesn't have to use her henchwomen all the time, and Adam Cole doesn't have to use his henchmen or anything like that, or anybody from the Undisputed Elite. They can just use, like, the belt. So who knows what they're going to do with the title. And I want to have it kind of, like, just walk around with it. It's just going to be like, are they always going to walk around with the bitch, or are they just going to, like, mention it every now and then?
They might treat it like they do the Dusty Cup in NXT, where they just put your name on it or something.
That would be dope. And make it like a one-time belt, like kind of like a Stanley Cup, etch your name into the shit and just like you got it for the year.
Right.
Yeah. I was say, you got anything else on the thing? Move on to the next segment.
I agree. I ain't gonna, like, they pretty much hit everything in the head. I mean, it was decent. It was a decent tournament though. But I mean, to speak on the Jokers, I did expect. And that's probably just because wrestling fans, we spoiled now. I did expect, like, a bigger surprise, with the Jokers. But I mean, overall, I mean, the tournament was a good idea. It did have some amazing matches, and the outcome, though predictable on one end, it was pretty cool. It was all good. I ain't got too much to say about it. Definitely not nothing to complain about.
Yeah, everything was good. So, it was what it was, and it was a nice moment and whatnot. So, that's just the overall thoughts on the whole tournament and whatnot. But
yeah, and if there is one more thing, if I can add, if there's one thing that we did learn from this tournament that I learned is that if FTR ever break up, that feud is gonna be fucking amazing. Let me tell you.
That's facts.
Agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, that's always something to look forward to if that ever happens.
Definitely agreed. Next, to which I feel like this may have been the worst match of the night, was Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Tay Conti versus Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and the debut of Paige Van Zant in a 6-person tag match. Wow, this was very bad. This whole story has been bad, honestly, because we don't know who's the face or the heel half the time because they've been switching in and out over the past few weeks, and we don't know whose side to take. And this was a perfect example of you didn't know whose side to take. I love the new TNT title belt.
I love that.
Yeah, the Lakers colors, the purple and gold, that looked cool. I feel like this title changes colors every other few months and whatnot, but that was a cool looking belt. But yeah, this match honestly was all over the place, and it's like, whose side am I supposed to be taking here? Because it's like y'all have had Sammy go from heel to face, and then same with Scorpio. You tease him being a face, then he's back to being a heel, and now Sammy's supposed to be a face, but then he's a heel again, and then they steal the UFC belts and the BMF titles and all this stuff, and this whole match, I was like, what is going on here? Because I remember somebody telling me that last night, like, they don't even look at Sammy as like even one of the 4 pillars. They just think he's just he's just a guy that just spot fest now at this point and just oversells anything out there. But I don't think this was good. Yeah, Scorpio and them got the win. And I guess now that Frankie and Sammy can never face for the TNT title against him ever again. Hey, Paige Van Zant, she did okay. I mean, it's her debut, so I'm not gonna say that much on it. But this whole match was just all over the place, and I hope this story is over and they move on to something else, because I felt like they just need to get the TNT champion on this show some way or another. Let's remember this match was added at the last second on Friday.
I think, man, I feel like all right. So I feel like Sammy is cursed. In the sense that, like, ever since he left the Inner Circle, nothing has gone like him. Even with winning the championship, that was like his last big hurrah. Because when he had the championship, he didn't really do anything crazy impressive, except for that Cody ladder match. That shit was great. But like, I don't know. Just like you said with I look at Sammy as one of the 4 pillars. Like, I'm a Sammy Guevara fan. I love the kid. I think he has the potential to be really good. I just think the storylines in which he's been put into are not fitting for him. And I think adding Tay Conti on top of that just isn't good. The last thing we need is another Cody and Brandy. Like, I understand that maybe they did have that storyline of, like, are they heels, are they faces? Because now they're coming up from well, maybe this is just a pay-per-view thing, but they came up from the middle of the ring and shit, like, or the middle of the ramp. So, they're not coming from either side. But I don't know, man. I think this isn't a good look for Sammy or Ty. However you want to say her name. I don't know. They work way better separately than they do together. I think it just becomes, like, very annoying seeing them together and all that. It's almost like they want to be like Edge and Lita. You know what I mean? Like, when they were going through, like, their makeout fest and they were just doing everything, like they're one live sex act away from being like annoying version of Edge and Lita, the more annoying version of
Edge and Lita. Anybody else got anything on this?
Yeah, I'll hit it. I hate everything about this. Just to put it plainly. I mean, the whole point in this match they had three objectives. They wanted it to end this feud. They wanted to get Paige on TV and wrestle, and they wanted that spot of Sammy kicking Ty. And we got all that. The story, literally everything since Sammy, really since people turned on Sammy, right? Because during the Cody match, it wasn't like that. And then right after that, everybody just started hating this nigga. So ever since that, all the storyline has just been terrible right up until the match we saw last night. And I didn't like the match either, but it's finally over. So yeah, that belt is raw though. You're right.
I'm gonna just make one quick point, because I agree, the match was ass. The whole Sammy Guevara experiment lately, like I said, ever since he left, Chris Jericho, ass. But I'm a fan of Scorpio Sky, man, so it's hard to boo him in real life. He's a fucking amazing. But this not it, bro. This ain't it. This wasn't it. The whole everything. It wasn't it, bro. It wasn't it. And Ty Conti's annoying. They both annoying as fuck, bro. I swear to God, they're like YouTubers. They know the shit out of me, G. But
that nigga is a YouTuber.
yeah, he is a YouTuber.
I mean, but like they act like a real like YouTube family type shit, like a real one. Like it's not gimmick. Like it just feel too. You remember he's one like Colt 45 away from being Jake Paul at this point, and it's just
golly. Sheesh.
Yeah, I agree. It's just gotten really annoying, and putting Conti with him ain't really helping that much. Some people do believe the reason why they both of them keep being booed was given how he got with Tay Conti to begin with, because people go back to that whole thing. Hey, you proposed to this other girl on live TV not that long ago, and then like a few months later you fucking with this hot Brazilian girl. Then so I think some people.
This whole act has done her more of a disservice than it's helped Sammy. Like, because she was naturally, organically over as a baby face. And then as soon as all of this happened, like, now she's got to be... Now you have to hate her because they want you to hate her. But it's just like, dang, bro. Like, why ruin a good thing?
I completely agree, man. Like, they both were, like, really over as faces so low. It still perplexes me because there was a... Tony Khan interview, he was talking about how this was kind of like a failed experiment, putting them together. And they're still together. I'm trying to figure out, like, what, maybe they're trying to just figure out a way to keep them together and make us cheer them, but I don't know. Like, I don't see that being a thing. Maybe if they, made out less, or if they just weren't so annoying together, like, I don't know, maybe it's the honeymoon phase situation that we don't like about it, like that whole, like, no one likes to see that couple that's just like, I love you too, like, shut the fuck up, like, get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay, so yeah, they just need to kind of get move on with this lovey-dovey couple shit, and if they are going to be like a tag team, at least build a story in which I feel pretty connected to. I don't feel connected to this story at all, and I'm happy that they can't, especially Sammy, can't compete for this title again against Scorpio, because I'm tired of that fucking match. So yeah, this was overall, it wasn't the best match, but it was a great ending because we can hopefully move on from this.
It's funny you brought up Tony Khan interview, because I completely forgot that they were actually trying to push them as a babyface couple at first, and everybody just kept shitting on it. Like, why did they do that?
Literally, they pushed them as a babyface, and they were instantly booed. And Scorpio was insulting the crowd, and they were all cheering. It was like, yeah, this is the new norm.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Kazarian. No, I actually feel bad for him because he just feels like in a way, the odd man out of all this whole thing. And it's just like he's just kind of just there to be there and whatnot. And nothing hasn't really kind of led for him. Honestly, I kind of like what he did on Impact the other night than what he's been doing in this feud on AEW. I actually rather go back and watch his match with Chris Sabin from the other night.
It was dope.
Yeah, that was great. This right here, I just feel like he's just kind of in this just to be in this, and I guess he's out of it now. So, like I said, I just hope they move on to something out of all this. And I'll just say one last thing. As for Paige Van Zant, the debut was okay.
Yeah.
It was what it was. So,
Yep.
Whatever. They got all their UFC belts back. So yeah, like I said, I hope they just move on from this because this was just horrible. So there you go. Next, Darby Allin versus Kyle O'Reilly. It was a good match. I don't really got much to say from this. Like, good match for the time they had. About 10 minutes out there. Darby trying to do that suicide dive and O'Reilly catching him to a guillotine looked smooth as hell. That was really good. It wasn't that. I my overall thing was just Kyle O'Reilly just kicked Darby Allin's ass and won. So, hey, good win for Kyle. But it's like, did this match really need to be added the last second to this pay-per-view?
This match was a personification of good wrestling, but so what? Like, what is this? This doesn't further anything. Like, okay, it's like.
Yeah,
remember, they kept saying on commentary, they beat up Sting. They beat up Sting.
Oh my God.
Poor Sting, like
that whack ass fall he took from that super kick that didn't even hit him.
Yeah. It was decent, but it was funny though. You're right that he said it felt like good wrestling, but so what? Yeah, it reminded me of them WCW days, man, with those irrelevant ass matches. I mean, it was, I guess, due to you got to look at the fact that this is a huge show and everything is being built like the biggest thing ever, and this match was just thrown in there just to be like, hey, you can go to the bathroom now. Like it was but I mean, they're both very talented. Kyle, coming off the top with that knee kick, killing Darby Allin for good, apparently. But it was definitely, man, that was hilarious, man. Good wrestling, but so what? God damn.
And like I said, I like both these guys, but it's like, who cared? Like, who really cared about this? Like, I liked them, but I didn't really care either way about this match. Like, where's this going?
I'm gonna tell you straight up too, bro. This was the point of the show where I started looking at the clock, man, because this came right after that 6-person tag, bro. And I was like, okay, really?
Right, I'm right with you.
This is what we doing? Okay.
This would have been a solid. Like, honestly, I feel like this would have got better reviews from us if it was a pre-show match, if it was a buy-in match. It didn't have to be in the middle of this pay-per-view at all. And again, like, no disrespect to wrestlers, great wrestlers, but like you said, so what? Like, what? This isn't furthering either one of you guys' careers. And even if you guys got into a feud, like, I guess that would be a good feud because, again, good wrestling, but I don't think it would really prove anything or like boost anybody's career in any way. So, like, I guess it was a good filler, but this could have been in a pre-show if we were just gonna throw some fillers in,
Yeah, big facts.
I agree. So, like I said, it's not much really to say from this match. It's like, hey, Kyle won, so there you go. I don't think this is really going to lead into anything else after this. So he got the win. So boom, there you go. But next, the AEW women's title on the line. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. I thought this was the best women's match out of the whole night. Very technical. I enjoyed it. I like both of these two. I think the promos were ass leading up into this whole thing, and I don't think any of them are that really good of talkers that much because it just felt like it's like, and I'll say as me and Gerard talked about it, it's like when they were coming promos, like they were talking very slowly, like robots saying, I am going to face you for the title. Oh, really? Now you have to
remember what they had to say.
Earn your shot, okay? So if you want to face me for the belt, you have to earn it. And it like just the delivery they have, especially D, the delivery was just so cut and dry. Like, I actually understood what D meant on promo when she's talking to Dustin like a couple weeks ago, but I zoned out in like 5 minutes when she was talking. I had to like literally rewind. It's like, what the fuck is you talking about now? Like, my friend got it's like nobody will give a fuck about your shade head. Like, get to the point. Like, I feel like even I had to rewind because it's like, what are you talking about? Because it was just so dry. Like
it was like if Tony Khan just picked up his iPhone and was like, "Hey Siri, cut a promo between Serena Deeb."
Damn.
So I just think the promos leading into this was so bad. It just wasn't good. I was like, I got to the point. I'm like, what are they talking about out there? It felt like it was going on for an eternity when it really wasn't. It's just they just talking. It's just like, can we sound at least interesting? Like, both are great in the ring, but the promos was just so, they were just so bad. It's like, get to the point. Like, I get the history thing, even with Deeb, you know, I had implants and stuff like that. But it's kind of like okay, where you going with this at the same time? So overall, great match though. Very technical. But I like what somebody even told me online. Like, wasn't she more thicker back then? I'm like, yeah, that's true.
I think the content of what Deeb was talking about is actually pretty great, especially leading into this match specifically. How everybody was selling her short and just saying, "Yeah, Thunder Rosa is going to beat her." And I thought all that was great. It's just, yeah, the delivery did it no justice, like at all. But I thought this match was fire, and this is actually. I said however long ago how much I love that spot fest, but these are actually my favorite kind of matches when you just get two people who can just wrestle and just get down to the mat and just try to break each other's arms and shit like that. That's my jam, man. So yeah, if I watch this pay-per-view over, this might be my match of the night because it's specifically tailored to my favorite kind of wrestling, but it just came after two matches I could not care less about. And it's already 11 something when this match comes on, and I've been watching this for 3 hours already, and I'm like, okay. But I thought the match was real fire, and I'll compare this to Sasha and Bianca's build for WrestleMania. That the build itself was just so bad, but I knew at the end of it we were going to get a good match. So, and we did. So I got no complaints.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it. I'm like, yeah, this shit is like it like the promo was boring, but this match is gonna be good because they're too good of professionals, like, you know, just as wrestlers. And I'm sure they have, you know, again, it's that wrestler telepathy where, like, just put me in the ring with somebody who knows what they're doing and we can put on whatever the fuck, you know, it's going to be a good match. So, like, I was expecting that. But, yeah, just the promos just that's the journey. But for me, as long as the match is good, that's all that matters. You know, that match was good.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I ain't got no disagreement there. You know, the bill was booty. You know what I'm saying? And but this match was good. But the only reason that it didn't, like, I guess, stand out as much as it should have is because it was getting really late around this time. It was getting really late. You know what I'm saying? I got kids and shit. I was like, oh damn. It was good. I was getting to the point where my mind was just like, damn, do I want to keep on? I might finish this tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate though, because like the match wasn't bad at all. The match wasn't boring. You know, yeah, it was what you say a spot fest, but it's still entertaining for what I saw. But damn, because the show was so long, a lot of the most important parts like kind of felt deflated to me. It was late. People was tired. You know what I'm saying, man? But other than that, it was cool.
If you took out the two matches that came before this one, I feel like this would have hit way different.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Definitely agreed. But yeah, like I said, it was, like I said, overall, really great match. It just, you know, just looking at the time and, you know, maybe the build to it. But like I said, both of these women can go. We know how really good they are. I know a lot of people kind of compare Deeb to either like a Malenko or a Benoit in a way, you know, from wrestling style and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I said, very technical. They actually sold out there and, you know, selling the land, like I said, trying to break each other's arms and whatnot, and stuff. So like I said, just a great technical wrestling match out there. Like I said, Rosa got the win, so there you go. Very good match. Next, the Anarchy in the Arena match. The Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, and Everrise. They look like a boy band out there, by the way. And I want a Kango hat, too. I always wanted a Kango hat. Versus the Blackpool Combat Club of Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. And, Eddie Kingston, or shit, damn it, LAX when you think about it. Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. And wow, this was the word I could come up for this was insanity in this match. And one thing, like I said, it was a lot of crazy stuff to point out, especially with the camera trying to keep up with everything going out through the entire arena, of just mayhem out there. Even Jon Moxley's music playing for almost 10 minutes, which I'll say this personally, I kind of got annoyed by the music playing that long and stuff. But then, I remember somebody kind of pointing out saying was kind of like how New Jack. Yep, there you go. Thank you for saying that.
I knew you were gonna say that, bro.
Yep, New Jack in ECW, how they always played Natural Born Killers.
The whole way through.
Yeah, through the whole match and everything. I probably rather have heard that than hearing the Wild thing, because I'm not the biggest fan of Moxley's theme. I actually like his older theme better than this one and stuff. But I'm like, okay, now I kind of understand once that was kind of explained. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But I think after a while, I was just kind of annoyed by Moxley's music playing. But it was just a lot of crazy stuff going on in this match. It was very bloody. I know they went to a lot of parts where the arena was tarped off. Some people think they didn't even sell out that whole building. But there was just stuff from, people hitting each other with fire extinguishers, going through tables, and mustard, and, gas being out there, and just, even Danielson and Kingston kind of going at it for a minute and stuff. And I still like when Danielson said, like, I'm going to kick his fucking head in and stuff. That was great. I am the table with Jon Moxley not even going through the table with the barbed wire and stuff. And everything, and just going towards the end with the whole walls of Jericho, and Hager choking out Danielson with the bat ended the match. Like I said, this was just insanity. Some are gonna like it. I know some aren't gonna like it. Like, some liked in the beginning, but I think some people, when it went on, I'm not gonna compare this to the Stampede match, anything. This is almost like the, if anybody remembers from Full Gear, the Minneapolis street fight with the Inner Circle and Dan Lambert's team at the time, when that whole thing was going down. So this was
much better than that.
Oh yeah, I agree on that. Like I said, this was just all out mayhem right here.
And this was my favorite match. Just like bro was saying, like, matches being tailored to what, this was tailored to me. Man, this shit felt like I was like don't you know when you was a kid and you like go on YouTube and you watch like SmackDown versus Raw hardcore 6-man battle royale?
Yeah.
Arena, like niggas on top of the fucking SmackDown fist, jumping off the shit. You look over there, somebody getting put through an announcer table. That's what it felt like with real life. You know what I mean? Like every time
he hitting it right on the nail.
It was something happening that I just loved. So, like somebody getting stabbed with a fork, or somebody jumping off of something, or somebody being put through something, and then freaking, then they go through the freaking elevator, and then he comes out with a freaking with a can of gasoline. Like, this is perfect. They play Wild Thing for like 10 minutes straight, which is the perfect song for this. That shit felt like a bar fight in a movie. Like every time it was great. I don't know. I loved every second of it. And I know hopefully it'll lead to like more matches, seeing how the Appreciation Society won.
Bro, blood and guts.
That's what everybody is predicting. And I'm extremely down for that. So, because the last blood and guts was, it wasn't. Let's make it better.
Yeah. Right. Well, my opinion, man, like at the time, this became like huge, dry hitting it right on the neck. Like, in my opinion, bro. It did give me that old school. I don't know. Every time I watch AEW, it gives me that nostalgic feeling like I've seen this in my childhood. Like they do a whole bunch of shit that remind me of playing a PlayStation 2. You get what I'm saying? Like they really bought about it. You know what I'm saying? Dude, this was my favorite match up until this point. Obviously, like no cap. I know that sounds crazy. When I told my girl that, she was like, "You fucking stupid," but whatever. I'm childish. This is my shit. Them playing Wild Things I was singing damn near the whole time. It was fucking hilarious. It did remind me of it didn't feel real. It felt like it didn't even exist in the same like show. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like it was exist. I like shit like that. I like stories and matches that can take me out of my element. You know, it just felt fucking retarded, and I loved it every minute of it. It was amazing. You know.
Yeah, I'm a big imagery guy, so the shot of Eddie Kingston bloodied up coming down the ramp limping with a fucking gas can in his hand. I'm
like a crazy
this is hard, bro.
He looked like a Grand Theft Auto loading screen.
Dude, I told you, fucking Eddie Kingston scares the shit out of me for this reason alone. He look like one of my uncles, man. Like that shit. Like the uncle that wants to fix your carburetor and shit, but also wants to like fuck your girlfriend. This is a bad combination, dude.
Bro, did you see the promo he cut on the pre-show?
Bruh, man. I ain't watched
God, bro.
What did he say? I didn't see it. I didn't see the
bro.
pre-show.
I can't do it. You have to just watch it, bro. The man did a masterclass, bro.
Synopsis: this nigga was basically like, "Why are you like? Don't you know those abusive ass motherfuckers who are like, why are you making me do this? Like it was basically, why are you making me want to kill you, man?"
Bro, nobody told Eddie Kingston this is all a work, bro. He's going here to really think he's going to kill niggas, bro.
Yes, man. I told you. That's exactly right.
That's the man.
He say, "What the fuck is kayfabe?" He means this shit. He's serious. He scares the shit out of me, man. He reminds me of one of my uncles, man. He looks just like him and everything. It's kind of boy, badass New Yorker.
This shit was hard, bro. I ain't got nothing to say. This shit was hard.
I gotta look this up,
bro. Because of Eddie Kingston beefing with Jericho, and them niggas fought for maybe 2 minutes in the whole match. like legitimately, like. This all started because of them, because of the fireball, and them niggas barely fought in a match together. Like they were too busy fighting other motherfuckers.
Yeah, this was insane, and yeah, it's most likely gonna lead into the blood and guts match and whatnot. So that's gonna happen. But you know, some people are gonna wonder, you know, how is Danielson and Kingston gonna get along, because they did kind of go at it out there, especially once the gas was brought in, and you know Danielson was about to take his head off. Then after that, you know,
Danielson was about to win. That's bro. The storytelling in it, like, it's easy to just look at this and be like, yeah, it's a bloody, you know, niggas is just doing spots and all that. But like the storytelling leading into this of them, Jericho just basically saying like, bro, y'all don't even like each other. How y'all gonna get along? And the fact that Jericho was beat. Danielson had this nigga beat, bro. And Eddie Kingston comes in and just starts dumping gas on niggas. Like, and Danielson's like, bro, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like,
I'm trying to win the match. Fighting.
Bro, this is, I don't know. Y'all might have brought me around that this might be my favorite match in the night. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was good, man. This shit was hard.
They're about to Mighty Ducks this bitch. Like, we have to work together as a team.
Bro, facts.
Blood and guts about to be crazy.
Too insane out there. So yeah, this was definitely crazy as hell out there. So yeah, Jericho and them, you know, got the win and stuff. But yeah, this is definitely not over. I'm sure what's the name will be back. You know, Wheeler Yuta, once he's done with the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, you know, that's going on right now in New Japan. So, you know, after Friday, I think he'll be back by next week and whatnot. Go watch that, by the way. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be involved in it by next week also. So yeah, just insanity out there. Next, we did get Andrade, who was back. He got married, right? Yeah, over the weekend and whatnot. And, you know, he's finally let go of the job squad he was with. Thank fucking God. It's a good thing they got rid of those guys, because that was not working for him. So I guess he has a new business. I thought he said that. Like, he said, you know, he's bringing in his his friend and everything and whatnot. Because he said he says he's been in a group of losers.
Yeah,
he was in a group.
Said that, but did he say like him bringing Rush in is him dumping everybody else? Is that what that means?
I would think that. That's what I thought. Because
I would hope so. I would hope like that he would just like build his own faction like everybody else kind of has, like just building it piece by piece, like instead of buying already mediocre faction.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I saw Rush, I was like, all right, Los Ingobernables is back. We're taking over again. We put the fist bump in. Shit, if the Forbidden Doors come in, bring in Naito and the rest of the crew.
That's actually who I thought it was before Rush walked in.
I thought it was Naito for a second. I'm like, the white suit. I low-key kind of thought it was Naito for a second. I thought they were bringing, him and the rest of the LIJ squad in. But I'm like, all right, okay. I finally brought in Rush and whatnot because, I remember he was in Ring of Honor, but I think they had problems and whatnot if I'm not mistaken. Because I know he was the Ring of Honor World Champion, and I remember they had a group. Didn't they have like their own LIJ or something in Ring of Honor? If I remember,
Yeah,
it was something that had to do with. Yeah, I think it was the leader because it was him, Dragon Lee. Kenny King was in it. I remember too, but it was basically another version of Los Ingobernables. So I just kind of thought they got rid of the rest of the whole Money Incorporated thing with Andrade, and I just thought they were kind of reforming Los Ingobernables once again. Once they got Rush in, because some people always told me they felt like Rush was the better one out of Andrade because at least he actually has charisma.
Whoa, what?
Nah,
Andrade don't have charisma.
God damn, dude.
Some people be like they signed the wrong dude to WWE. A lot of people thought that.
Nah.
Wow, bro. Hot take on the pod, bro. Whoa.
It's just in, folks.
Right, whoa. I ain't never heard that. Andrade ain't got charisma?
I think
whoa.
I think they probably looking at him like Mike Wise, man, but because he's dripping with charisma. He's dripping so much they call the Coast Guards. Like
he's the freshest nigga.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looked clean as hell out there.
Like what? That's the first I've ever heard that.
Yeah, he's clean. Yeah, he looked clean as hell out there. I still think he needs a manager. I will say that. Don't get me wrong.
Oh my God.
He's trying his best to speak English out there. Like he really is. But even I felt like they really need to get this guy a manager because every time I kind of look at him, I go back to the whole wash your back. You want him to wash his back? I had to sit there like it's not like he said wash your back. Like like go back and look. Like we was talking about that. Like he's trying, but I can understand why they had a manager before with him to begin with. Like we want to go back. Like remember when he had Vega with him?
What happened with Chavo? I forget what happened. Was it just like they just let him go, or was it like
Great
Chavo? What happened with Chavo again? Because Chavo was there. Because he left
was on the Ring of Honor show with Bandito, and then Bandito fired him. So
yeah, that's kind of it. Because it's like Chavo was there, then he wasn't there, then he did kind of talk about the structure and the company. I remember, and like you say, he was back on ROH, and then they got rid of him there. So I don't really know what's with Chavo. It's like he was here, then he was there, then he was here again, and now he's gone again. And a lot of people thought the Jose dude was his manager. I'm like, no, that's his assistant. So,
I mean, can he talk? Because it doesn't really matter. Like,
Jose?
If Jose can talk, yeah.
Yeah, he can talk. Like, it's not bad. From the little I've heard from him, he doesn't sound bad.
No, he doesn't.
Because I feel like they keep trying to reinvent the wheel with Andrade, bro. Put somebody who can talk with him and call it a day. Let the nigga wrestle. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that.
Yeah, because
seriously, because Andrade in the ring is fucking crazy good.
I just think he needs more.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I just think he needs more wins. Like he's really good in the ring. I just think he takes a lot of L's. A lot though at the same time. And I think the whole feud with him and Darby was just damn near one-sided as hell.
Well, apparently Tony and them supposed to be debuting more belts. Hopefully it's a couple more singles belts. Their roster is getting pretty big. In the TNT and the AEW, there needs to be a couple more. I know they're bringing in the trios, which would be great.
Well, we got the Ring of Honor belts also.
Oh yeah, I forget about the Ring of Honor belts. Well, yeah, Andrade can fucking kill for a Ring of Honor belt. Yeah, he killed with one of those.
Because right now, Ring of Honor, I'm not really sure what to say about ROH right now when it comes to them being involved in AEW. That's kind of, I'm on the fence with that one.
Time. I think this is just side note shit. I think AEW they are being very they betting on themselves. You know, we forget this company not even 5 years old. They've already done so much for wrestling promotion, and including buying a full company, a whole nother company. So, like, I don't know. I feel where Bryce is coming from because, like, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen because this, you know, we don't. They need to get a hold of managing themselves first, but also, like, if you ask me, and I don't want to be like a fanboy or no bullshit like that, I can really, like, as far as like between watching AEW and WWE pay-per-views or premium live events or whatever, as long as this shit it was long as fuck, but I wasn't as bored as I would be a WWE pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever. So, like, I don't know. I feel like them adding Ring of Honor, it doesn't really hurt them. It could only hurt them if they don't do shit with it. So hopefully Tony has a plan in which he can incorporate Ring of Honor and AEW along with this whole Forbidden Door thing. But if not, then we're gonna be on the next pay-per-view talking about this nigga's out of his mind, you know. So we will see.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, man.
I feel where you're coming from.
I tell you what, though, man, this hindsight is 2020, but now seeing what happened since with the TNT Championship, I still don't understand why they didn't just have Andrade beat Sammy in that triple threat with Darby. Like, can you imagine where we'd be right now if Andrade won that triple threat match? It was TNT champion up to this point. Like, why didn't we just do that, bro? Like, and seeing what they're doing with it now is just like, y'all missed the boat, man. Like, it was perfect right there, laid out for you, and they ain't do it. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so yes, that is a good question. So, you know, I hope him being back and, you know, having Rush with him now, hopefully something actually changes this time, because like before, I just think the guy was just taking too many L's, and it's like y'all gave him this job squad and it was not working. So the minute I saw,
saying, like, why are we even in a position where Andrade is a guy who needs a reinvention because he's taken so many L's? We already did this in the other company, so we learned from mistakes, bro.
I just feel like the same thing's being repeated over and over now. So I'm like, damn, man, you technically got, you know, Los Ingobernables here. Like come on, like it's literally right there in front of everyone now. So. Because even I'm wondering, like, you know, man, can we get something going? Because I don't think this has really gone out well ever since he got here. It's like he was kind of hot for a minute, but then after that, it just kind of, you know, faded, a little bit faded in the background, especially after Cody in a way. It just kind of faded for him. And like,
I'd argue he wasn't even that hot from jump, bro. The first thing they did with him is put him with Vicky, and that was bad.
Ooh, yeah, that didn't help.
So like I don't think anything he has done so far outside of what he looks like and what he wrestles like in AEW has been good like, at all.
Unfortunately, you're telling the truth, man.
That's definitely true. So like right off the get go, they got a point. They've already kind of botched the whole thing anyway. So you know now I'm just sitting there wondering like okay, this can go out well this time, right? Because it hasn't really gone out well ever since he got here to this company. So there's too many changes, and I don't even know where they be going with him sometimes. So I'm assuming it's going to be different, because the last time he was on TV, he lost in that coffin match. And that was kind of last time we saw him.
Terrible.
So we'll see what happens then. Next, I know they did interview Scorpio Sky. I guess Dante Martin is getting a title shot this Wednesday.
That match will slap.
That's going to be good. I expect that to be good. So I'm glad they moved on to somebody else with the TNT title. Next, the tag team titles on the line. Jungle Express versus Starks and Hobbs versus Lee and Swerve out there, or some would say Keenan and Kale.
Keenan and Kale, funny as hell.
Yo, you did what I did. You called them the Jungle Express. I still calling them niggas that, bro.
Well, yeah, what did they be called? I could have sworn they were the Jungle Express.
Jurassic Express?
Oh,
right.
Jungle Express. Wait, was it Jurassic or Jungle? I swear it was Jungle.
Bro, I stay calling them Jungle Express too, bro.
Yeah, I called them Jungle Express. I forgot it was Jurassic Express. So I wasn't even sure. I didn't even not sure which one they were called. But this tag match, I was surprised that they actually retained the titles, to be honest. And I was expecting Christian to finally turn on them and stuff. This was a good match. I'm surprised it was that late into the show with this tag team title match. Like it wasn't bad or anything. Like I enjoyed it for the time being. I thought it was funny when Keith Lee, when everybody was on the ground, he was like, "Oh my God!" You know that meme they do online. I thought that was hilarious when he did that. But it was going all over the place though, and Jungle Express ended up getting the win because they did pin Swerve. I honestly, and once again, if we want to talk about build, most of this build has been about Swerve and Keith Lee going against Starks and Hobbs. Then the tag team champions get involved. It's like the tag team titles are involved just because and whatnot. Because the Jungle Express, what were they really doing before they even got involved in this whole thing? When you think about it, because I actually kind of thought the belts were going to go to Swerve and Lee there. I was kind of expecting that.
Yeah, and for that reason, it seemed like, at least on my Twitter feed, like this match was mad divisive because people were expecting a title change, and when they didn't get one, everybody acted like this match was ass or something. And I'm like, I mean, that match was fire, bro. They just didn't switch the belts, man. They'll probably give them the FTR or something, but it's like, I mean, that don't make the match bad just because you didn't get what you thought you were going to get. Like, this isn't a Britt Baker situation. Like, Jurassic Express, like, okay, they won. And like I said, it's probably leading to FTR because they weren't even here tonight. But that, I mean, it doesn't necessarily make it bad. I thought the match was fire. I thought Starks and Hobbs were going to win because Swerve got the pin, on Wednesday. But Jurassic Express retained, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, Did
anybody think Christian was going to turn?
Yeah.
Of course, but I'm always disappointed.
It's like you just expected, but they just never give you what you want. Like it's like whatever.
No.
It'll probably still happen, just not yet.
It's coming though. It's coming. Just not yet. I guess I just want to plant a few more seeds and stuff. But like I say, it wasn't a bad match. Anything, did I expect a title change? I did, so I was kind of pleasantly surprised that they actually did retain the titles. But like I said, it wasn't a bad match out there, and whatnot. They still did their thing out there, so it was good.
Keith Lee showed Brody King how it was done.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Some dude just flying out there.
Niggas forget he's 300 something pounds. That's crazy as fuck, bro.
Bro, 384, JR said on commentary. Jeez.
That's insane.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was one thing you had talked about last night with me. You said you kind of got tired of JR going at Starks out there about him showboating.
Bro, as soon as he tagged in, bro, JR was like, well, here comes Ricky Starks. Well, hopefully he doesn't focus too much on me and he just tries to win the match. I'm like, bro, damn.
He started going on his ass, bro.
Bro, immediately.
Basically do a Ric Flair walk on the fucking road. That shit was dope as fuck, though. That shit was
dope
hilarious.
as hell, bro. I'm like, JR, Shawn Michaels wasn't too much of a showboat, bro. Mr. Perfect was like, JR, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here, man?
He's doing too much showboating out there. Or like, you gotta win the match. Can't do all that showboating. We gotta win the match. Like, you gotta win. Like,
bro, right?
Yeah, just lollygagging out there and stuff. So, they were just doing that. Like, come on, you gotta get to the match there, damn it. but yeah, overall, it was a really good match though. I enjoyed it.
You know what I think JR wanted to go home too. It was like, hurry up, y'all. Shit.
Exactly.
Don't blame him. This was going on forever. I was like, throughout this tag match, I was like, the main event is up next, right? I was kind of saying to myself, like, it's up next, right? We're almost there, right?
Man, this is a long journey to get here, man.
Oof. Good thing I had that coffee. I needed that Starbucks at the time because I need something to keep me hyped throughout this whole show. And whatnot. But yeah, after this tag match, we finally get to the main event. By God, finally. CM Punk, Hangman Page, world title on the line. Well, what can I say? Where do I start? It was a good match. Very good main event. I know we talked about a little about, Punk trying to do the buckshot and fucking up his knee and everything, damn near, because I'm like, it was kind of, it didn't really look good at the time, but he kept trying to pull it off. But nah, this was a really good main event though. Crowd was still heavily invested into it and whatnot. So, and the crowd was like 50-50 because we saw how they were either on Punk's side or they on Hangman's side because we heard fuck you Hangman or cowboy shit chants or just CM Punk chants. So it's almost like it was kind of on a decisive 50-50 between both of these guys. Now what got me was the ending once the ref bump happened, and then Hangman is it's almost like he was conflicted, like at the end, like do I use the title? Because what gets me, I look at that promo from Wednesday and he's talking about like, I'm fighting for AEW. Like I'm doing this for the company. You're just here to do this. And I'm like, when was this about CM Punk versus AEW now? Like when did it come to, Hangman just defend? I was kind of like Punk that and like, why are you so angry for? Like, why are you taking this so personal? It's just business. I earned my title shot. So why are you taking it? Because it feels like Hangman literally just kind of got mad all of a sudden at Punk and he started, kind of being very heelish out there. And, you could say it was on kind of both of these guys because you didn't know almost who to pick with both of these two, like, who was the heel or who was the face. But I thought it was kind of, out of nowhere. Like, I'm like, why is Hangman acting very heelish? And, he's just getting mad at Punk. He wouldn't shake his hand and, just knocking him down even from last Wednesday and stuff. And I'm like, why are you taking it personally? But, Punk did end up getting a win, hit the GTS and stuff after dodging the whole getting hit with the title belt and whatnot and becoming the new world champion and whatnot, and Punk celebrated.
I actually think at first, because I know when we were talking about this when Hangman first cut that promo on Punk, and we were like, why is he so mad? But I think this week he pretty much said enough to get where he was coming from, because he said the same thing that Taz, MJF, Eddie Kingston, everybody was saying, like, bro, we know the real Punk. You are not this guy, bro. And we know what you are. And from Hangman's perspective, he's saying, I know what you are and what you're going to be if you become champion. So, I mean, I think he said enough to get, I mean, they didn't hold your hand with it or anything, but I think he said enough to get where he was coming from. Does that justify how angry he was about it? I mean, that's a different conversation, but I think it justified at the very least why he didn't like Punk, like, or why he felt he needed to protect AEW from Punk. And I actually thought in this match that Punk was going to do something to prove Hangman right, especially when Hangman didn't hit him with the belt. I thought Punk was going to low blow him or something just to be like, oh, so Hangman was, but we didn't get any of that. So, but I thought it was cool. Like I said earlier, like 2 hours ago, I'm gonna have to rewatch this because at this point in the night, it was 12 midnight plus, and I was ready for it to be over. So, but I didn't think it was bad or anything.
Anybody want to go next?
I'll say something real quick. This was clearly, my favorite match overall, And I get what y'all was saying. The story itself, I interpreted it like this, because Hangman Page is basically like, yeah, like it seems like he's kind of like deranged, but it's like, oh, like I know the truth, but everybody's like, what's the truth? Like I can't tell you, but I know the truth type of vibe. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, maybe not, but what I got from it was basically he was like, I this is bullshit. I'm trying to save the company. I'm trying to save it. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Save it from Punk. He's Punk. He's great. Punk is like us. Like, yeah, why are you so mad? The whole time, I clearly, genuinely feel like he is. Oh my! This is gonna make Adam Page. It's gonna make Hangman one of the biggest faces ever because it's inevitable that CM Punk is gonna become the biggest heel in wrestling again. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. There's not going to be a maybe. He's going to become a huge. He's going to make Roman Reigns feel like Don Morocco. He's going to be an asshole. Correct. He's going to make MJF feel like The Miz. Like, how about that? He's going to be that guy, And I guess what Hangman was kind of alluding to, because this whole week, this week he kind of made it seem like I know what's going to happen if you become champion. Everybody is saying like Punk is this outsider who just came in, got this check, and going to make it the Punk show. I feel like he might have been right. I like the story way more. The match was great. Obviously, it's Punk and Hangman. Of course, the match was great. The story they were trying to tell, will he, won't he? Type, with Adam Page, Hangman didn't turn heel, and you thought that CM Punk was going to turn heel. But this slow brewing that they're doing is going to explode into something perfect. And I genuinely can't wait for it. I enjoyed it. I was tired as fuck, and I'm definitely going to watch it again. But dude, it was the story itself. I feel like it's more, man, look, I've been taking bumps for 10 years, for over 10, I don't know how many years, like 12 years now. I've been wrestling for 12 years now. I know what it takes to put on a story with so many layers. I honestly feel like this is nowhere near this first, second layer. This is like not even touching searching the surface, dude. You know what I mean? It's just trust what I tell you. This is probably gonna be one of the biggest things in wrestling and for a while. Just letting you know, man. It was decent, man.
All I got is 3 words for y'all: Summer of Punk.
Yeah, man.
It's about to be one of the most fun summers for wrestling because this is the summer where he goes heel, and we don't know how, we don't know when, we don't know where. This summer is about to be super fucking fun. Now, my question to y'all is, what do y'all think will happen within this summer? That, will it be a New Japan match? Will it be Kenny Omega coming back and something happening? Will it be there's so many different outlets. If you guys could give any day after predictions of CM Punk becoming a AEW champion, what do y'all see by the time fucking October gets here? What do y'all expect?
Well, they're going to do New Japan versus AEW matches at Forbidden Door, and they want to do world champion versus world champion. The easiest way to get around that is to have Punk turn heel in that match and cheat some kind of way to get the win over their world champion in order, I wouldn't even do champion versus champion because of that, because who wins? But if you want to solidify a Punk heel turn, chair shot, low blow, whatever it is, that's how I do it for real.
Yeah, especially going in the next few months. Possibly heel, but depending who will, if it is a champion versus champion thing, depending, who will be the IWGP World Champion, because right now it's either got to be, if you're looking for a heel versus face thing or heel versus heel, it's either going to be Okada or Jay White winning the title, which I do believe he will win at Dominion. But could it be Jay White and Punk at the Forbidden Door? I don't know, because it's either going to be Punk and Okada or Punk and Jay White. But then we probably could see the first layer right there of, him turning heel and whatnot. So that could be the first step, because Yeah, I've said it before. Like, he has to walk into Chicago as the world champion and whatnot, especially if they're gonna do a title versus title thing. We don't know if that's gonna happen yet, but I think it will. But going into more months, I think it's gonna be, it's gonna be a lot of seeds being planted. Maybe it'll be a slow build going into him being heel, because like, the whole victory lap tour and the goodwill tour, that we're past that, okay? And like, he's the world champion now, so it's like a lot of people said, like everyone here said, we got to see the real CM Punk now and whatnot, especially going towards here. We need the real one, the one back in when he was the champion from over 10 years ago, damn near at this point. Being a heel and stuff. The whole 430 something day reign CM Punk we got to see back again.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. It's inevitable, bro. It's clearly gonna happen. There's no way around it. You know what I mean?
If it doesn't happen, it'll be as much of a disservice as Shawn Michaels only going heel once in his career after coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I will ask.
Certain people are just great heels. I'm sorry.
That's true. I will ask this question also. What do everybody think about Hangman's overall run as champion?
I think niggas asleep.
Yeah. I think it was okay. I don't think it's over. I think he'll get another chance if he's still in AEW. In 2024-ish. But seriously, but like, yeah, as of right now, it's just I'm way happier that Punk won than Hangman.
I think the Hangman experiment, it was time to end it from here. I look at his run as champion, like, you look at the build going into it of him getting the title, which was really good. Yeah, he took some time off for the time being, and I think that did kind of affect it a little, especially with the extended time off. But I kind of felt when he got the world title, it's like, don't get me wrong, he put on banger matches. I'm not taking that away. But I feel like the people he was going against, were basically more over than him. And even in the beginning, I was kind of getting to the point like, shit, put the fucking belt on Danielson. I'm like, this dude just don't miss. I was kind of going with him to win the thing, because like I just feel like Hangman promo wise, it was like up and down. There were times where he would cut a really good promo, but then it just looked like this guy had no charisma out there at some time. And I think I said this like a few years ago. He reminded me of James Storm. He's like an athletic version of James Storm minus the charisma out there. And it just almost like you had to get like the spurts like just out of him just to get in everything. But I look at his run as champion, and I look at the opponents he's went against, from Danielson to Cole to I think Lance Archer. I'm trying to think who else did he face.
Dante Martin.
Yeah, even though that was some WWE 2K random universe mode type shit. It was still a good match, but it was so random. Like, I'm like, what is this universe mode they trying to put out here right now? Because like I thought it didn't make sense, but I just kind of look at Hangman sometimes. Like, I feel like the chase was a little bit better than him as the champion for the time being. And like I feel like maybe if they had him stand on his own out there for a minute, because like we went from him, it was all good, then it was like him and Omega, then he was against Omega, then they kind of made him like a bumbling drunk out there for some reason, which the people actually were on his side on.
That's what got him over.
That's what got him over. I think putting him with the Dork Order did not help.
That also got him over.
For a minute, like, dude, you put him with a bunch of fucking jobbers out there. It did not work. It worked one time.
Come on, Bryce.
One time. One time. I'm sorry, but one time. Like, dude, that was not working. Like, it's on like, what? Was he gonna get the Job Squad over? Like, god damn. Like, it did not work. And then they did kind of disappear from him. Then when he was the world champion, because what were those guys really doing then after that, huh? They just kind of they faded away. Then they were gonna have them go against each other. Okay, it's like they really did their best to try to keep these guys in the loop. But I'm like, God damn, these guys have not been over, and I don't even know when Brody was still here and whatnot, and that worked for a minute. You know, he did his best to get them over, and then like you had him with Hangman, and like because Hangman, his friends abandoned him, and then he joined up. But I'm sitting there wondering like, why would you have Hangman with the fucking Job Squad for? Like tell me, folk. Like come on now. Like it just did not make a lot of sense. And I think once he did get the title, they kind of had him, shy away from them then, and then he became his own man again. But I think that did kind of affect his run as champion, and that's why I say it's kind of been a up and down thing with him as the world champion. Because even as the world champion, he didn't feel like a focal part of the show at different points in times. Like, yeah, he was the world champion, but it's almost like how many people cared in some of the stuff he was doing, depending what feud he was going against. Because there was probably some other feuds that were a little bit more over than the world title itself, when you think about it. So it's many ways to look at this. Okay, but
I think you're doing a little bit of revisionist history with the Dark Order bit, because I think you're forgetting how over people wanted him to join the Dark Order before he fought Kenny. Like that whole angle for like a month, 2 months leading up to that, where people were, all the crowds, anytime they were anywhere, wanted him to join with the Dark Order. And then when he finally did, and they all came out together, the place went nuts, bro. Like, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like that's a little bit of revisionist history about the relationship and how over that guy. Because that, I remember places were going nuts anytime they were interacting, and then people were so sad when he was blowing them off. Like, nah, not really, bro. Like, but regardless of all of that, I feel like I said, niggas asleep, bro. Like, I thought the reign was all right, not great, because for whatever reason, Tony Khan can't book babyface champions. I mean, as soon as Hangman won the belt, same thing with Thunder Rosa. They disappeared from TV. We didn't see them at all until they cut like a random promo on one show or whatever. And I don't really know why that is. And maybe even more egregious with Hangman, because we never saw him until somebody was calling him out. And then, like you said, he was facing people who were more over than him, which did him no favors. I mean, he's facing Adam Cole in Florida for the world title. Like, obviously, people are going to be cheering for Adam Cole fresh off of his NXT run and all that. And people have been clamoring for the longest time for Adam Cole to get put in the main event stuff and stop feuding with Orange Cassidy. But I just don't think they did Hangman any favors throughout this whole run. But for people to be like chanting "fuck you, Hangman" and stuff like that, I'm like, dang, bro, niggas asleep, bro. What did Hangman do to deserve all of this shit? Like, like I said, like, I agree with bro. He said it was all right, and I agree that it was all right. But like, dang, it's not like he was putting out ass matches. And you know what it is? I think he just needed that one story to take him to the next level. He never got that one story.
It never came. Yep.
That cemented the legacy, you know? Like, if this Punk stuff, if he beat Punk tonight, or if it went to a time limit draw or something, and we kept the story going with Punk, and it got more and more heated, this might have been the one that took him to that level. But it ended tonight, so we never got that story outside of the Kenny one where he first won. And I think that hurt him more than anything, that they just never gave him that one story that put him over the edge. So he never came across as the most important thing on the show, because you got Wardlow MJF, you got CM Punk and MJF, you got this whole Blackpool Combat Club thing going on, you got CM Punk and, whoever, whatever. Like, he never felt like the guy on the show. And I think, I mean, if that's Tony Khan, whatever, but I don't think they did Hangman any favors throughout his whole reign. But I wouldn't say it was ass or anything.
Anybody else got anything on it?
Nah, I mean, on Hangman's reign, exactly. Like, I think, it's been talked about like timelessly. It really wasn't. It was a hit and miss thing for me. compared to everybody else who's already been champion, Jericho, Kenny, John Moxley, it just did not. It wasn't it, bro. It wasn't. And Punk now made it cemented that thought that Hangman Page is like, his reign wasn't really all that. I mean, he had some decent moments, but it just was. It's not even that much to say about it. It's really nothing else to really say about it. But so, I mean, I'm glad he got it up. I'm glad they got the title off of him. Not like he's not bad in the ring, but it became stale really quickly. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
I agree, guys, because I was like, the minute Danielson kind of came into the picture at that time, I just felt like it was a 180 that flipped in. It just felt like a whole 180 flipped on it. Like I said, the chase wasn't that bad. It's just like once we actually got to the ball, it was like something just wasn't clicking. It did not work. Some would think the chase was a bit too long too, which I was okay with the chase. The only thing I just felt like that hurt was when he took that extended time off. That was the thing. I think that kind of hurt for the time being and whatnot. So like I said, it was a hit or miss thing and whatnot. And I'm not gonna say much on the whole because now I guess with Punk as the champion, everybody do believe now that the ratings will actually be high because they just said Hangman wasn't bringing them in or just drawing enough people.
Is that even a thing anymore though? For real?
What, ratings or drawing people? Drawing
people. Like, is that a thing where we're still expecting like the champion of the show to be bringing in ratings? Is that like? I'm like genuinely asking, not even trying to be like a smartass about it.
Like. Shit. I think I guess it depends how you look at it and whatnot. Because I see the ratings get brought up a lot and whatnot, especially with Dynamite right now, because it's not like they've been hitting 1 million lately and stuff. And I'm not gonna go into Rampage because Rampage has been like topsy turvy lately. And I'm not gonna go a Rampage all the way, given that they've been on different times for the past few weeks now, due to either the NHL or the NBA finals that's been, happening.
Can I say something? I'm sorry. Can I say something? As a fan, because I really got a question. I just want to know, why the fuck do we care so much about like ratings? Period. Because all it is saying, oh, these many people are watching while I'm watching. Why do we care about that? Like, why is that the measuring stick for how successful some of these shows are? I'm just asking. Because I don't understand that, and I just don't understand that. I don't understand why we hold ratings or viewership to such this high regards. Oh, this many people watched it. That almost never guarantees a successful show. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, correct me. I'm just being honest. Like, I feel like this rating, the fact that wrestling fans and entire IWC look at ratings like they're like this holy grail at times. Look at like these. It's put it like this. I had a conversation with Aaron regarding like match ratings, with Dave Meltzer, etc. And he questioned the validity in that. Why does this one person get to dictate how successful to some people a match is? But in reality, why the fuck do we care about ratings? Can somebody answer that for me? Like, why are ratings relevant? Why do we give a fuck if somebody else watched the show at a certain time? You get what I'm saying? When they watch, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm tweaking, but that's what. Can somebody answer that to me? Why the fuck do we care about ratings?
Well, the real answer is we don't. But
oh shit, there you
go. that's the quick answer. Like, they actually don't matter to anybody except the people putting the show on and advertisers. But they only matter, quote unquote, matter to a select people in the IWC because of tribalism. Like, other than that, nobody, like, I wouldn't expect anybody in this group chat right now to give a shit about ratings.
Okay, here we go.
It's like how I feel about when people argue about the demos and whatnot, because we've seen how they argued with Dynamite and NXT at the time. Even if one does beat who in the ratings, they all go on and we've seen how AEW has been about demos and stuff, but it's like when I see fans go on about the fucking demos, it's like, yo, get the fuck on with that shit. Like, oh, we beat Raw in the demo. I'm like, nigga, who gives a fuck? Okay, you didn't. And yeah, maybe I am going back to the ratings in a way, but it's like, did they beat Raw in the fucking rating? No, shut the fuck up and be quiet. You ain't win shit in no fucking demo, all right, nigga? Like, y'all these fucking. I'm sorry, it's just when I heard this demo stuff throughout the whole, and we can go back to, come on, Dynamite talked about the demos. We see Jared, they took that one L. That one other L from NXT that one time, and they couldn't take the L. They had to go, well, we got the demos and everything, or the demo this, the demo that. We got the key demo to that, because that's the big joke thing when it comes to, you know, the IWC and Twitter is like everyone argues about the demos, and I see some dumb motherfuckers argue about the demos online. Trust me, it's like, dude, that shit don't fucking matter, okay? It's like, oh, well, you know, they're doing better than, you know, Monday Night Raw, the WWE right now. I'm like, dude, does that really matter, man? Like, eat a dick for real. Like, come on now. Like, how far was y'all gonna keep going with? We're in the key demos there, the 18, the 49. Listen, man, at this point, you just need any fan to watch wrestling, okay? All right. Anyway, it doesn't matter if it's the fucking casual or the smart fan or whatever. You need any fans, okay, to watch your show. All right. At the end of the day, I understand you want to, you know, pay attention to your core fan base and whatnot, but you still need an overall audience at the same time. We know people are gonna, you know, how can I say this? Maybe it's a pick and choose thing of what they want to see on there and stuff, but it's like what Stephen just said. Like, it's been a lot of tribalism for a while now when it comes to this, but it's just when I hear about the demos and stuff all the time, it's like, does that shit really fucking matter? Like, I mean that goddamn shit. So, I'm just saying.
You all right, man?
I'm straight, bro. I'm straight.
I feel like they pissed you off, man. Like, we got to beat their ass.
Yo.
60%.
What did you say? The portfolio.
Oh my god.
You're like,
I
man.
felt like he was ready to box now, man. Like,
this nigga went on a
goddamn.
whole tirade, bro.
Goddamn.
Oh shit, that was comedy, bro. God.
Like, shit, we see the stuff right now with, you know, people going on. Either that, or it's, you know, podcasters talking about this, or like, shit, we seen stuff in the whole media scrum that happened with AEW from last night and stuff. So, you know, people argue about, you know, demos or ratings, and, you know, that's almost like that's a weekly basis thing. But I just saying, when it came to that demo thing with Dynamite and NXT at the time, it's just like people thought this was the new Monday Night Wars, okay? And in a way, it really wasn't. At that time during the Monday Night Wars, niggas was getting like, what, 9-10 million views at the time. Like, yo, we was barely hitting 1 million with both of these, okay? So even I remember.
Wait. In defense, and I can't believe this sound like it's gonna sound like I'm backtracking, because I really don't give a shit about ratings. If you know that many people aren't watching TV anymore, right? Like, I haven't watched wrestling live before that. I haven't watched wrestling live. I don't know too many people over here that watch wrestling live like they did back when we were children, you know. So, but still, ratings don't matter. But still, to that argument, nobody's watching. I would say it wasn't really comparable, because I always thought NXT was a better show than AEW back then. You know, and a lot of people talking about ratings. I'd be like, what the fuck is a rating? Who gives a shit? But that's it. It didn't feel like the Monday Night War. There were people losing their jobs, man. There were people getting fired. It was a big ass war. It was a battle, man. This was just, you know, a cost showing contest, man. And, you know, it come on, man. NXT, never mind. I'm not even doing it, dude. NXT was always better in my opinion, but that's my opinion, man. You know.
Yeah, I get your point though, because, you know, I remember somebody telling me, you know, a while ago, and now I kind of maybe think he was right. This wasn't a war. It wasn't even a scuffle. It was a faux pas. It wasn't a battle. It was like a scuffle on the playground.
It's a disagreement, man.
So I just remember that, someone telling me that at the time, now that I think about it and stuff. So like with people saying, like, you know, well, Punk's going to bring in more more, more viewership in and whatnot. But like you just said, like, does that even matter half the time and whatnot? Because like I said, we already just saw what happened on that whole media scrum thing, after the pay-per-view and stuff. Anybody got anything to add to that?
Hell no, bro.
Okay.
You went on like a 20-minute rant about these ratings, bro. Just for you to say they don't matter, bro.
That's how
okay, we just talked about it don't matter between the rating and the demo.
Make sure you all right, man.
I'm straight. Nah, I'm straight. You like I'm about to punch my computer or something.
It sounded like you was fun, like you wanted to fight Tony, man. It sounded like you were really give a fuck about your ratings. Fuck your rate. God damn, right?
Right, bro. Chill.
You want to start off with first off, fuck your bitch and the click you claim.
Yeah, like I'm about to punch my screen or something. Yeah, man, I get you just like the range, but you was like, yeah, we all agree. Niggas are like, I'm about to kick something.
That's how it sounded, man. It sounded like you was finna throw a chair on the floor, man.
It definitely came across that way.
I'm gonna start throwing chairs in the air and stuff. Just to start throwing stuff yeah, fuck your rating system, mate. Like, and whatnot. Man, that's the thing I'm about to I don't care what Tony says about whatever. That's what I guess that's what I think I was going with that. But yeah, other than that though, overall grade for the pay-per-view.
It was good, man. I mean, man, it might just been because of the time, but I really expected this to be a needle shift type of show. It seemed like a big build show with a lot of decent, great matches, but nothing that just. It might have been just because of the time. Nothing that's kind of like moved me. You know what I mean? Nothing that kind of like made me be like, oh, AEW is right back on the map. You know what I mean? I think Forbidden Door will probably do that for sure. Honestly, but I feel like Double or Nothing is like the Royal Rumble version for AEW. I feel like it could have been a little more impactful, but again, that could have been just because it was fucking late as fuck when I watched it. I had to watch it on a delay, so I didn't finish until like 2:00 in the morning. So, I was fucking tired.
For me, man, AEW is at a point now where everything they do, I can compare to what they've already done. So I'm going to say a score, and it's going to come across like it's really low, but I'm thinking about the build and my investment personally into every match that I saw tonight. And I'm going to give this joint like a 6.5, bro.
Damn.
Because for one, I wasn't invested in like a half of these matches. For one, nothing was outright bad in terms of work rate, but the fact that I didn't care about half of what I saw, and yet this shit went off at 12:40 in the morning, bro. I was just sitting there like, golly, bro, like this shit. And I shouldn't feel like that if I'm really into what I'm watching. And if I don't feel like I'm into what I'm watching, then I can't give it any higher than a 7. So I'm gonna give it a smooth 6.5, and I don't want to come across like I'm hating or nothing. But like bro said, like I didn't feel moved by anything. Like even lesser stuff. What was it? Revolution. Even stuff that wasn't like main event stuff, like the Jericho and Eddie Kingston stuff. I was still like, wow, this shit is great, bro. Like this. But when I watched this, I was like, yeah, that was cool. Like, and that's really the most I can give it in terms of emotional investment. Some stuff I was really feeling, a lot of stuff I just couldn't care less about, and then the whole TNT stuff I really hated. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 and call it there, bro.
Boom.
You want to go first, Rod, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I could go. I give it a B with A potential, and I I gave it a B because, just like they said, the time frame was off. Certain matches, 2 or 3 of the matches could have been pre-show matches. You could have moved all of them fucking promos just in between the matches. And there's your issue. You know, the fucking show ends around 10:30, 11 o'clock, which is still pretty late, but at least people aren't exhausted. So that's where the A potential comes in. I feel like if those things were moved around, like for instance, Sammy Guevara's match, that triple threat thing, that could have been moved to the pre-show. Jade Cargil's match could have been moved to the pre-show, even though it was a great match with a great debut, which is the reason to have it up. But at the same time, it's just so many matches completed. There's plenty of matches. Can't give it like a low score because every match I truly liked, you know, except for like maybe one that I was just like, yeah. But I can't be, I can't give it a low score, but I can't say that it gets a low score because of just the timing. It's trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'm kind of going with like a C, maybe a C plus, but I think I'm gonna stick with a C and whatnot. Like I said, it wasn't a bad show, but you know, kind of like what Steven had said before, a lot of these matches were not really built that well. Out of maybe 2 of them, which was the opener and the main event. And you know, once agree, like everybody else, this show went on way too long. Like I kind of said before at the beginning of this whole thing, if you count the pre-show, this started at like about 6 o'clock over here, and it did not go off until 11:40 p.m. And that, yes, it was a total of 13 matches, and it just went too long. Not all the matches were bad. Like I said, the worst thing on this show was the TNT 6-person tag. That was probably the worst thing on this show. Everything else was really good. I do agree that some of these matches either should have been moved to the pre-show, and they could have added, because they only had one pre-show match. But once again, like I said, a lot of these were added at the last second and were just thrown on the card just to be thrown on the card. I'm not saying like this is one of those things where it's like, hey, we got to get everybody on the card, because they would have probably done one of those casino battle royales then, which they did not do this year. And usually that kind of finds a way to just, get everyone on the card and stuff. But, like the stuff I did like was from the main event. That was probably one of the best things of the night. The Anarchy 5-on-5 match, which, with Jericho and Blackpool Combat Club. I really did enjoy Deeb and Rosa. That was a great match. I'm trying to see what else. Like I said, it was so many matches. You got to try and think and name all of them at the same time too. But like I said, I like the opener with MJF and Wardlow. Like I said, did need to complete the story. The Hardys and the Young Bucks. Like I said, even though it's no bill, it did exceed expectations. And the House of Black and Death Triangle was good. The Owen Hart tournament matches were the finals of the tournament. Like I said, I probably like the women's one better than the guys one, but it was okay. But like I said, I'd probably just give this show a C. I think what hurt it was, like I said before, the time frame of it. It was just, it went too long. It was too long. It didn't need to go that long, and they probably could have shaved a few matches off, because like everybody else, it was getting to that point in time where you kind of look at the clock and it's like, man, is this thing almost to the end yet? Are we going to get to the main event? Because you kind of wonder, like, how many matches do we have left throughout the entire night? So, yes, like, and AEW kind of tends to do these, like, marathon shows where they go on a long time. But, I'll say, like, kind of what me and Steven talked before the show started, like, what Tony Khan wanted to, was he trying to go against the NBA Finals or something like that, or compete with them, if I'm not mistaken?
I was trying to avoid them.
You say you're trying to avoid them?
Yeah, but that would have been hard to do just in the time frame. But he did go over. Maybe he was trying to avoid it by going over, having a later time frame so that people could tune in after watching the conference finals and the ceremony. But even with that, damn, bro.
It was just too long. I was like, this show didn't need to go that long. And I kind of wonder now that I think about it. I don't know, because we all know the Forbidden Door is next month and whatnot. So it kind of makes you wonder how long will that show be when that happens, when it comes to both AEW and New Japan and stuff. Because I kind of wonder how long is that show gonna go on.
It's gonna go WrestleMania 35 length, boy.
Oh. 8-hour marathon. I feel like I feel like I'm gonna need food, a lot of food that day, or coffee. But overall though, I'd give it a C. Like I said, it was a good show and whatnot. I just think the time frame hurt it, and I think there was too many last minute matches that was added. Not saying all of them were bad, but at the same time, did you really need to add this much? I know you want to make the show big as possible, but having too long of a show can hurt you at the same time and zone fans out wondering when is this going to be over. But from the live crowd in Vegas, they seem heavily invested throughout the entire night. So I'm going to see.
Yeah, for me, man, it 6.5 sounds crazy, but that's really just like a 3 out of 5, bro. Like it's my main issues just come from lack of investment. Like, because wrestling to me is best when you're emotionally invested in the stories being told. And a lot of this show for me just felt like good wrestling for the sake of good wrestling and not any more substance to it than that. So it's like explosions are going off in a movie. Like, yeah, I like explosions, but like where's the meat of the story? Where's the heart, the soul to it? So yeah, I'll stay in that 3 out of 5 range, but yeah, man, it definitely doesn't go any higher than that for me.
All AEW really needs to do is just hire the same editor who did the Limp Bizkit promos for WWE back in the day.
Facts.
So just play my way, huh?
And play my way. And when in doubt, play my way.
Way to highway, yeah, bro.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, it would make everything really hyped up because sometimes I feel like with video packages nowadays, like some are good, but it's like they don't have that one that you're gonna play over and over that was that great. Sometimes there's a reason why people still talk about My Way to this day, with Austin and Rock and just how it was edited. But I can understand that. Just say, yeah, let's keep playing My Way in everybody's video package, and it'll look great and stuff. But overall, does anybody want to plug anything before we get out of here?
I'll speak some shit since before. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Gerard.
My bad. Yeah, I'm doing a show with Stepping Stone. It's a theater company. I'm gonna be doing some rap and poetry at that show. If you go to steppingstone.com, Chicago, you should be able to see it.
Anybody want to go next?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say everything I always say. DR Elite, man, we out here. Especially since some of my niggas are beefing with niggas in the AEW, so it's been making the last couple of days very interesting. So yeah, I gotta shout them out off principle. And yeah, man, anytime I'm here, you already know, Black Shxggy. Any albums I got out, any albums the team got out, you already know what it is.
I'm gonna say one thing because I'm about to get up out of here real soon, though, man. Y'all can follow me on Google at King Z. Same thing with the Y instead of an I, Bryce, because you can't spell. I got a show coming up in Milwaukee, man. Make sure y'all come to the Impossible Lounge. If y'all in the Milwaukee area, man, we're gonna turn the whole city up. I'm gonna make sure I put a link in the bio. Y'all come and show some love. And yeah, first 25 to come in with a little wristband that I'm gonna send in the link. I'll buy y'all drinks. It's the first one, not the second one. The second one on y'all, man. I ain't got it like that. Yeah, come on, show some love. That's it, man.
Hey, yo, you said you were a wrestler, right, bro?
Yeah, I wrestle, but that's not the show I got coming on. I got a performance. I got a music performance coming on. But yeah, I'm a wrestler. Well, I used to be as much. I'm nowadays. I I got bad knees, man. But Bryce be trying to convince me to go back.
Well, say if you do a show out here in Baltimore, bro, I might hit that up, yo.
I got you, bro. I got you. Guess love, man.
But yeah, I also just want to plug in. Follow me on Twitter at HoodandKnight890. This will be uploaded sometime during the day once I do some timestamps and go over a few things and stuff. But yeah, overall, this is a really good review. Almost went about. Let me look at the time right here real quick. About almost 2 hours and 30 minutes, precisely. And whatnot. So yeah, I think this was really good. Don't know when the next review will be for. Trying to wonder what the next show, big show, will be. Now that I think about it, like, what's another pay-per-view coming up?
Yeah, follow Bryce on Twitter and talk to him about the demos.
The next review. I don't know what we're gonna review next. Maybe Helen. I don't know about Hell in a Cell.
I fortunately have to go there because I have children and a wife now, so I have to attend Hell in a Cell, unfortunately. Lucky me, man.
Hey, Oscar, Becky, Bianca, bro. That ought to be flames.
Dude, I'm at a point where I don't give a shit about that. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, live shows, I get too technical. I be watching. It takes a lot to pop the boys. You know what I mean? My wife and my kids. Yeah, dude, my wife and my kids, they're popping for everything, and I'm just singing the theme songs at this point, man. Just trying to calculate a match. I do this when Bryce is with me too. When we go to indie shows, I can't enjoy it. I have to sit there and tell him what would have made it better or different. I can't. I'm tired of. I can't. That's why I wish I was going to Forbidden Door.
Yeah, because we went to my brother's indie show and we saw how that went.
Yeah, man.
We saw
your brother wrestle?
Live, though. Yeah, I thought I told you that. He broke his hand, though, so he's been reffing. We were there. Me and Isaiah went there, and he was the referee, but he got hurt in training and broke his fingers, which he's still going through it right now. He showed me like the thing on his hand the other day before he went out of town, but like he can rep, but he can't like slam his hand hard on the mat, so he's still going through some physical therapy and whatnot. But yeah, when we went there, like we did see Ace Austin live. I think I told you that.
Oh, you did tell me that. Hey, look, man, you could be telling me a whole hell of a lot, bro. Don't do drugs, kids, because my mind ain't what it used to be, bro.
I would never listen to that sentiment.
I got video and everything. So yeah, I remember showing that. But yeah, Hell in a Cell. I don't know if that will be a review. Maybe Slammiversary.
Maybe Slammiversary. Yeah, sure.
Slammiversary, or yeah, I think Slammiversary, because at first I was gonna say Dominion, but Japan and America got two different time zones, so I don't know how that will work. Then again, I don't know the card for that right now. I just know I only probably know like 3 matches off the top of my head for that one, and that's for the world title. But yeah, we'll figure out what the next review will be and whatnot. Because like Forbidden Door, I'm most likely going to that one. United Center. I think Gerard going too.
I'm gonna try my best. We definitely gonna try.
Because I know a lot of people trying to get to that show at the United Center, because I feel like it's a wrestling show that comes to Chicago almost every other month at this point.
We're some spoiled bastards, man.
I'm mad.
Yeah, we're a hot market. Definitely a hot market.
We're spoiled little bastards.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, overall, I'd like to thank everybody for coming on here today.
For sure, yo.
Yeah, you already know.
So yeah, other than that, like I said, we're out of here. Subscribe to everybody that plugged everything right now. So yeah, other than that, we are done from here, and yeah, we'll get this uploaded sometime later today. So out of here, peace.